The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. Sal will also be joining Jeremy and Joe later this morning. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1, and Montreal has had less than 15 shots in both of those games. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado after a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, the Athletics' Joseph Pearson said the Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of this season. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after surgery last season. And in the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. And in the Western Conference, the Spurs and Thunder are tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
WGR.
Hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday. My day of the week clock is back up and running. What's up, Joe?
We will need that, I think, this week.
Tough week for this, you know?
Yeah.
And head on a swivel, folks.
I was excited. Like, get back in the swing of things, knowing what days of the week are, which do not exist when you're off for a couple of weeks taking care of a baby. And then I get 1 week of that, and we're right back to I'm definitely going to call today Monday a dozen titimes. And then that means tomorrow I'll think it's Tuesday, and then maybe next week we'll get back on track.
Long weekend, a lot of rain, a lot of sun, you know, a little bit of a good mix.
But Shope's Law holds up.
I texted him. He's always right.
It looked like the rain emoji on Monday was there for like a week.
Yeah.
And it was beautiful.
On Friday, he said, do not check the weather. It will be nice on Memorial Day. It always is.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if you're going to be right this time. And sure enough, there it is, 73 and sunny the whole day.
It was perfect.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I sent him a text like, this is what I know you for, and you are always right. It is always nice on Memorial Day.
It's the thing he wants to be remembered for. Shope's Law.
Baby.
Memorial Day.
It's undefeated.
Yeah.
It was great yesterday. So hope you had a good long weekend. You know, you're watching. One thing I would say is, did we ever used to have more sports on the day itself?
I thought there would be something on. The race is on, right? Like, I don't even know what race.
Same.
Like,
it's
the race.
It's the baseball, and then the playoffs are late.
Right.
But we never used to have something at 3 p.m. or 5 p.m.
I know. I could have used one of the games being at like 1 o'clock yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is it typical?
Instead, I just had to socialize, which was fine too. You know, hang out with friends and family.
Right. Be outside.
Be outside and not watch sports.
Maybe use your grill or something.
Did that.
Terrible.
Did that, yeah.
No, like, is there a F1 race that's normally on Memorial Day? No,
those are all on Sunday.
The
Sunday
Indy
was
500
Indy,
is Sunday.
Sunday was the F1, the Canadian Grand Prix. Yeah, all that stuff was over and done with.
The Belmont Stakes, something.
Anything.
If it's there, I mean, the NFL, they'll take it over, right? Like, every holiday they can get their hands on now. There it is, Memorial Day, just sitting there.
Play a game.
Nobody wants
Just play a one-off,
Yeah.
Well, good morning, everybody. 803-0550 is our phone number, and 1-888-550-2550. Carolina wins in overtime for a second consecutive game, and we've got a situation with Montreal where they shoot the puck like 10 times a game. That's their thing now? Okay. Sweet.
I think it kind of has been their thing.
Yeah, right. It was all the way going back to the Tampa series where they had 9 shots in a game.
Does that bother you?
Everything about them bothers me right now.
Okay.
Yes, everything about them. I had not tweet to me, but I saw. I did not know that Jacob Dobish played at Ohio State. Right? I didn't know that. I
did not know that until you just said that.
Yeah, my brother-in-law is the athletic trainer for the Ohio State hockey team. I could have been getting all the intel on Dobish for all the chance for the second round. I missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's a bad job by me. I did
Yes,
know that.
it is. I saw him like, what are you doing to me? Not that you necessarily knew my brother-in-law is the athletic trainer for the Ohio State hockey team.
I
But
kind of did know that, too.
you kind of did. I could have come in here with like really weaponized information.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Then I saw a clip of 2 years ago or whatever, him flopping the floppiest flop of all time in college.
Yeah.
They're chanting,
Yep.
you're a flopper at SGA in that series. We needed to be doing that.
We did it in Game 7, but it was too late at that
It
point.
was flopper?
Yeah, when Zucker bumped him and he flew back and threw his stick up in the air.
He is a flopper.
At least on the side of the rink, I was sitting on that side of the rink, and that whole half of the arena at least was going flopper.
Yeah.
Now, you're right, in the Spurs Thunder series, Spurs fans are doing that to SGA a lot.
Yeah.
And it's loud.
He deserves it.
We should have been doing that all series.
The whole series.
Yeah, and it took, I think, until when was that Zucker play? Was that the third period of Game 7?
Yeah.
It was at the end. Yeah, how much he bothers me.
He bothers me.
I don't know if the shooting thing bothers. I think it probably does. I think the fact that they've played 17 playoff games so far, and how many times they have more shots than their opponent? It looks like 4. Looks like they've been outshot 13 times.
Which is fine.
3 of the times they outshot a team, it was the Sabres, although they lost 2 of those games. So, I don't know.
It's just odd the number of times they end up with less than 18 shots.
Oh, right. Some of these games, 18, 19, 12, 13, 9. Think of that. 12, 13, and 9. They have games of 12, 13, and 9 shots in these playoffs.
The shot attempts last night through 3 periods were 78-38 Carolina.
Yeah.
The largest gap of any game this postseason. But whatever.
That's just 5-on-5.
That's 5-on-5. That's shot attempts through 3 periods. Then again, like Carolina has long been known as the team that kind of just throws pucks at the net, right? Spams the net.
A little bit.
Maybe they don't do that as much anymore. Whatever. I did not. Last night, overtime, Carolina wins. Good. I'm on good. I have settled on good for Montreal losing, and it's because of their goaltender in Montreal. It's because of Dobish. When it's one of those things where we say all the time, you don't know who you're rooting for till the game starts. Mm-hmm. I didn't know who I was rooting for even in the series until Game 2 overtime when Svechnikov roasted that dude, and I felt a great sense of joy. Seeing him sitting on his butt, sad, after getting sniped, I thought mean things. I thought, like, you know how people remember Smolinski 20 years later?
Of course.
That's how I feel about that guy. I feel a burning sense of you.
Yeah.
Him. Not that he even really beat the Sabres. I know that he did, but
Slavkovsky?
No, not Slavkovsky.
No, sorry. Dobish. Yeah.
Him. That's the guy.
I mean, he kind of did.
He kind of did. He was looking to get beat the whole time. The Sabres wouldn't, shoot on 2-on-1s.
Was he not their best player in the series?
Probably was. Lane Hudson might have been their best player in the series, but whatever.
Benson was working him a lot in that series, but no, I know.
But I'm just over here.
It's not like he was a killer in that series, and he had 3 shutouts.
That's right, but Dobish just he's the one that sticks for me. And if this rivalry goes forward, and they play next year in the postseason, I'm going to be thinking about that guy. Who knows if he'll even be in the net? He might not have it by then.
No, he might not.
I mean, I know he thinks he's going to the Hall of Fame, but he might not even be in the net.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. The one thing I'll say about that series is that. And then, of course, on the other side, you've got Vegas and Colorado, which has been probably a big shocker for everybody that Colorado is on the ropes like this.
It's been, a little bit of a shock, although maybe not as much of a shock if you consider the injuries that Colorado has dealt with.
Yeah, Makar is definitely hurt.
Makar missing 2 games and then playing through injury in Game 3, and also his coach kind of sounding like he little bit maybe called him out for not playing through it. And then McKinnon takes that shot in. Are they up 3-0 when he blocks that shot?
Yeah.
And then Vegas fights their way back. It's like, I don't know how much to be surprised because so much of what I think makes Colorado great is they have probably the second best player in the world and they have the best defenseman in the world at the same time. And if both of those guys have been battling injuries at different times in this series, then I don't know what they're really supposed to do. Vegas is great, right? Like all the
Vegas
regular
has
season
stars.
stuff, how they went like 4 months without beating a team that was in a playoff spot. Remember that was the thing when they came here and they lost to the Sabres. Like they were not beating anybody good, but it was they're limping in because their division is terrible. And okay, that was there for the regular season, but they clearly had another gear that they could just click into. And they have a ton of talent. So I'm starting to get on board with the idea that I will be rooting for them in the finals.
Vegas?
Yeah.
Same.
Like, not that I have that big a problem with that, but that's not the team you enter the playoffs thinking, like, I'm going to root for Vegas. But I just so easily would be them over either Montreal or Carolina.
Yeah.
So, and Marner, I think, having the run he's having and probably would be the Conn Smythe winner if he wins the Cup. I think that would help that, too, a little bit. So I don't feel great for, like, Tortorella or even, like, Eichel or a lot of those guys I'm, like, rooting for actively. But, yeah, I think I'd be rooting for Vegas over them.
803-0550. If you want to throw a thought on
There was an offside challenge last night, of course, as well.
Great.
It took an important goal off the board.
Of course. Very important to have that. Everyone knows.
So I guess I'm learning the rule there on the fly that you have to be in the zone when you gain. You can't be in the zone yet when you have possession coming into the offensive zone. Caulfield, you know how like you can enter the zone with possession?
Yes, that's
You can't have two skates, though, in first and then come in with possession. That I did not know.
Like-
I thought you just had to come in with possession. And it was all about the puck, but you have to be...
You're saying you can't basically skate in backwards?
You can, but you can't start that backwards skate when the puck's out and you're in. You have to be out as well. Does that make sense?
I think so.
So Caulfield, if he gets the puck at the neutral zone and skates backwards into the zone, then he's fine. But because he didn't gather the puck, which was outside the zone until both his skates were in, now it's offside.
He didn't have possession of the puck. You can skate in
He
back.
did, but not until he was already in.
No, I think the ruling there is he doesn't have it yet.
Yeah.
He touched it. It's kind of like what's a catch in the NFL? Owen, help us out here if you want.
Yeah.
If he had full possession of it, you can skate in backwards.
Right.
But they ruled he didn't have full possession of it, even though having possession of the puck in hockey is not actually having possession, it's moving it back and forth with a stick.
Right.
Like,
Well, because the puck's on an edge, he's kind of got it laying on his blade,
a little bit.
which
but
is almost
kind of-
like he's
but-
holding it.
But they're saying he didn't have it.
Right.
Okay, I thought they were saying he had two skates in, and that's the problem.
Because you can back it in.
Right. But
Kinda.
you could skate backwards into the zone with if you had just carried it from blue line to blue line and skated backwards, that's fine. But what happened there is I think he kind of receives it as he's backing in, and then that's the timing of it is
all things that Dave Jackson did not do a great job of explaining last night.
Shocker.
Or wait, or their own guy who is
who cares?
I don't know.
I don't
It's
need
a
to know
different guy.
any more of
It's a
these guys'
different
names.
guy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It wasn't very clear the way they
No.
were describing it.
Of course not, because what is about this gosh forsaken sport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good that it was offside. I'm glad. Montreal lost another one at home. Montreal can take the banner of this postseason of losing all their games at home away from the Sabres because they've lost more games at home than the Sabres,
Yeah.
which is kind of wild.
Yeah.
Like, what are they, 2-6 at home now?
Something like
Montreal?
2-5, maybe 2-6. Yeah.
They lost 3 games. I mean, 2 to the Sabres, and here they lost 1 to Carolina. They lost a bunch to Tampa as well. Good.
Well, they're getting a lot of they were getting this a little bit last night on the broadcast, and I've heard this on podcasts and whatnot. Like, they're getting credit for, like, part of why they're still alive, and maybe the Sabres are not, is they have this ability to win games, finding ways to win.
Roll my eyes
when
into
you
the
are
back of my head.
when you are outplayed. Basically, that's it. Like you know how to win a game when you are outplayed, which I said last week to me is just strictly goaltending and power play.
Yeah, that's it.
Or bounces. Like, that's it. Like, those are the 3 things: pucks off legs, power play, and goaltending. That's how you win when you get outplayed. And, like, I don't know, they just don't, how much respect do they deserve for winning a bunch of games when they're getting outshot? I think they're a good team.
Yeah,
but
I don't think they're Stanley Cup winner good. The more I watch them against Carolina specifically,
it feels
like it's clear who the better team is in the series.
Totally, it feels like the 21 run with Price when they got to the final, kind of fluky. Like this guy's giving them games and saves in spots, and it's all kind of working out perfectly, and it's gonna run out at some point. And I think they're facing the buzzsaw now with Carolina, and they're rested, and it's not looking good for them.
Am I right that the point, though, that's being made about the goalies left in the playoffs is not really holding up that strong right now? Because of the 4 guys, and this was like, hey, what do I need Hellebuck for? Because look who's in the playoffs still. It's just 4 guys, no stars.
It's 4 UPLs,
and I don't
in a way.
The goal that got called back,
Or 4 Lions, however you want.
right? The goal that got called back against Montreal last night, like Freddie Anderson just gets beat clean by a wrist shot way out by Michael Matheson, and the Colorado guys, like, are they switching? Maybe Wedgwood
probably will.
and Blackwood, like they're in that place.
Yep.
Dobish has been fine in the series, maybe.
Yeah, I think he's been
Fine.
almost great the last 2 games. He's been great,
Yeah.
but they have blown it.
And then
They've
Hart's
gotten
been great.
13 shots.
So are 2 of the 4 holding up?
Right. Okay. So 50%. It's a coin flip whether
Right.
you get good
Well,
or bad.
right.
I was going to
That's
say,
the entire point.
That's fair.
That's the root of the offseason is, do you want better goaltending? Yes. Do you want to invest a lot in a better goaltender? I don't know.
Maybe
You're right.
Only to me if it's the best one.
that exactly.
If it is Connor
Right.
Hellebuck, then I do. Then
Right.
if it's almost anybody else, then I feel like I'm just gonna run it back.
There's maybe a short list here, right? And the reality is, like, here's the thing about the point you made about Montreal. They know how to win, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, when they're outplayed.
That's not exactly good process. And what we want the Sabres to have when it comes to finding better goaltending is it doesn't even really, the process doesn't matter how you get it. You just need it to be a little bit better. And if the process that gets them there is UPL's back and wins, 3 playoff series, we'll say, well, okay, I guess that worked.
Right.
It's a little bit like the Bills and Joe Brady in the playoffs. Hey, it doesn't really matter what you do. When you get to that moment, I need you just to win the game. And that's the Sabres,
Right.
and whether it's UPL or it's Lion or it's Connor Hellebuck. Like, Jeff Merrick suggested that getting Connor Hellebuck is going to take you 0 power.
That I was like, that to me is a bridge too far, and I don't think it would actually cost him.
I don't think that either, and there's absolutely no chance the Sabres should ever do anything close to that. No way.
I'm with you there.
You have something that's more valuable. Owen Power at his age and term is probably a lot more valuable than Connor Hellebuck. So what else are you getting in that deal? I don't think Yarmo would even consider something like that. I don't know what the prices are. I'll tell you one thing I do like, and Sabres fans. I talked to a lot of Sabres fans over the weekend that are like, I haven't listened since Game 7 because I can't do it yet. I'm like, it's okay. I understand. We'll be here when you're ready to come back. The Sabres we're about to have an offseason where they are in on every single rumor. Mm-hmm. We are about to have a Brandon Bean. They were in on that offseason for the Sabres. Mm-hmm. The Bills are in on everything, right? Max Crosby, they made a call on this guy, and I've already seen 15 different Sabres reports like, could Edmonton be a landing spot for Yuri Kulik and Devin Levi? And I think, who are they getting from Edmonton? I don't know. But they're in on every rumor. They're going to be on absolutely every single rumor page, and that's kind of a good life.
They exist.
Because they exist. We can think about it, whether it's Alex Tuck and the latest on what that might be. I've seen some reports about a number there and some term there, and I think we're all kind of getting ourselves, I shouldn't say all, lots are maybe migrating to maybe this shouldn't happen. Feels like the gas gauge is going that way a little bit on the Tuck idea, and that opens up flexibility to do other things. So whatever. I'm in for the rumors. I'm in for all the reports of what might happen because it's exciting.
Well, I think the reason Hellebuck is getting thrown in there, and maybe there should be a rumor about some guy that could come in and like really help their power play as well. Because if I look at the Sabres right now objectively, and I think, all right, if they wanted to be aggressive in improving something for next year, where would you attack? Because they have arguably the best top 4 in hockey on the blue line. So, like, I could get to my third pair, but how much do guys that play 11 minutes a night move the meter anyway when I get to these big games? The top 4 guys are going to be the ones that are really playing. The forward group is as deep as anybody in hockey, and I've got all this youth coming in that should even help that along even further. So, again, I could point to the power play, but The only other thing I can look at is basically to say, like, their goaltending right now is the same as these other 4 teams left, which is it's a coin flip. Well, okay, if I don't really have anything else to get substantially better at, let me make that better than a coin flip. I think I'm a great team that can win. If I think I can win the Stanley Cup with the forwards and defensemen that I currently have, which I think they could. I think that is in there. There is a Stanley Cup winner in those 4 lines and those defense pairings. Then let me make that a 75% chance that my goalies are going to hold up, rather than, while my team's great, let me flip a coin to see if I'm going to get eliminated in the series because I have no idea if my goalies are going to be good or bad. Like that to me is the only other place to look at. It's not to say that there are a lot of ideas that exist that make you better than a coin flip, but I think that the Hellebuck one that would be ultra aggressive is that, and then maybe I'm done. That's it. Like that would be the one. That's my favorite move of the offseason that they could make, that they could line up on opening night with. That guy standing in goal would make me feel like they could win the Stanley Cup next year.
You don't have any fear of he's hit the wall?
Not as I did a lot of this over the weekend, like goalies between he's under contract for 4 more years.
Yeah.
So you're getting 33, 34, 35, and 36, I think. And a lot of the elite goalies that I was looking up, like, don't hit the wall on the ice unless they have an injury that, like, their career ends from.
Yeah.
Right.
And like Carey Price is one of those.
Lundqvist had that. Well, he was even older.
Lundqvist made it a little. There was another one though.
What would you use?
Holtby maybe.
Just to play the devil's advocate here. His team in front of him is not that good. Whatever. Like things went south. How would you best describe a drop of 41 goals save above expected? 41. Because he went from 41 goals saved above expected to 0.
Right.
And that is, again, like the year before it's 31. The year before it's 31. His career low before that, I mean, he was back when he was 23 years old. Other than when he was 23 years old, his worst season was 7. To have a goals saved above expected drop 41 means you had a bad year.
Yes.
And I know there's voodoo. Last year, he's the Hart, Jennings, Vezina. 2 years ago.
Right, the bar was set as high
Yeah,
as
he was incredible. And then he won at the Olympics. So, like, single game stuff, that's obviously still in there.
Oh, yeah.
But a season, I'm going to need more than just a single game. I'm going to need, I mean, whatever. The season probably,
Depends where
I could rest him during the season if I'm getting him because I don't need him to get the 1 seed. I don't need home ice, as evidenced by this. I just need to get in. And then when I get in, he's got to be ready.
Depends where you look, too, because, like, Evolving Hockey, he went down from 49 to 25 above expected. Sure. So it's going to depend on the model as well. But no doubt, like, that was his worst season in 4 years. But
No concerns?
I'm, like, looking at his charts over his entire career, and he's really never had a bad year. Last year was not an elite year for him, like, by any means. It wasn't a great year. By Hellebuck standards, you could probably qualify it as a bad year. But I feel like I'd be willing to give the benefit of the doubt to a guy that's never had a bad season in a decade.
Yeah. So the one thing I will say about that team in the way that they played this season is they for a lot of years have been very, very good at understanding how to play to Hellebuck's strengths, and that went away this year in a big way. They have historically been very consistent at finding a way to give him easy sight lines on pucks from the outside that kind of like his game is very, if I'm there on time and I can see it, it's not beating me. And they do a good job of not letting him get behind plays, and that got a lot worse this year. They got worse as a team as a whole, and defensively they got way leakier. I think that led to him not trusting the game. He was very sort of, I'm guessing all the time now, and that was leaving him behind a lot. And I think that was a lot of where he ran into some challenges this year, along with he was hurt.
Yeah.
He's played, the other thing is he's played a ton of games. He plays 60-plus games every year for Winnipeg. And I think he got worn down. And I think that caught up to him a little bit this year when he got hurt, and it catches up to him every year in the playoffs.
He gets worn down. Every year they play him 60 games, he gets to the playoffs.
And he tanks.
And if you look at his couple of good playoff seasons, it's like the COVID-shortened year.
Yep.
Like the years where he's played only 45 games. Oh, then he goes in and has a .930 save percentage in the playoffs. And part of why I love that as an idea is I'm trying to project like what that would look like here. I feel like with all that you just said, Sabres are not like the most buttoned up defensive team in the league. They were substantially improved from where they've been in the past. So like I feel like this isn't a bad spot for all of that. And two, I don't know, I'd hope that they would have a plan. Like, we're not going to play you 65 games and burn you out by the time we get to the postseason. We're going to play you 50 games. And because right now we feel like we're a good enough team that we should make the playoffs if Alex Lyon has to play 25 games as your backup.
Is he going to be on board for that? One of these players is going to be okay with playing less?
Alex Lyon?
No, Hellebuck.
Oh, Hellebuck.
I would bet that
15 less games?
At this point in his career, if you approached him and said, listen, you're not going to not play the playoffs. We want to get you to this place because we think it will help you win. I think that is 100% something he would be like, all right, I'll do that. We'll see how that goes. Like, but you better give me all the big games, but I'll eat a few less if you think it's really going to make a difference for me. And I think it will.
803-0550, our phone number. Welcome back. Hope you had a good long weekend. We're going to talk about some Sabres ideas, of course. I do want to have a Vegas conversation, but it's not a 6 a.m. conversation. I think people got to be a little more awake.
It's like an 8 o'clock conversation.
It's like an 8 o'clock conversation about Vegas, about the Golden Knights, and
all right,
their place in the league. They represent a certain something to me. The Knicks are going to the finals. How about it?
There were a lot of Knicks fans in that Cleveland crowd last night. Holy cow!
The Cavs owner should have
Knicks
considered. He should have considered refunds.
The Cavs also. Maybe we could play some of the clips later. There's a lot of loser energy coming out of Cleveland.
Yeah.
The coach talking about. Actually, we've won 2 games analytically.
That was tough. That was a real dark moment for analytics because now
I know
that guy gets dunked on for the rest of time, and the concept of merely having a lot of information becomes a joke because of him.
James Harden's talking about after they got swept. I truly believe we were far and away. Did he say the better team? Oh, he sounded pretty aggressive.
That's
on
tough.
Like, bud, you just got swept.
That's tough.
And you got blown out in like 3 of the games.
803-0550. We'll have some fun today. Hang out with us, Jeremy and Joe, Owen Parker, Joe Kelly here as well on WGR.
Sneaky Joe DiBiase here for Awaken 180. Having a newborn will remind you real quick about what your body feels like when you're getting up
The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. Sal will also be joining Jeremy and Joe later this morning. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2 over Montreal. They lead the series 2-1, and Montreal has had less than 15 shots in both of those games. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado after a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Joseph Pearson said Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season. The Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after surgery last season. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. And in the Western Conference, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Svechnikov, cross ice, Jarvis. Back out, shot by Svechnikov. Score! The Carolina Hurricanes take Game 3.
Kenny Albert on the call. Good morning, everybody. Jeremy and Joe. Tuesday, May 26th.
It's going to be warm today.
You and I hit the same parade yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Different
spots.
ends of the parade.
It's at the end of my street, so it's very easy for me to just walk to the end of the street.
Yeah.
It's a very odd parade in that there are you get your patriotic, the presidents and veteran things and floats that are going by, and then look, there's Chewbacca,
Boba Fett. I
Boba Fett.
I thought the same thing.
And there's Darth Maul.
And the Kenmore Parade. I used to live in Kenmore. I used to go to the parade every year. Went and hung out with friends there, kids, everything. Great scene, great time. And Chewie.
Fine.
Hey, Chewie.
Chewie.
Oh, look, the Mandalorian.
Was General Grievous in attendance?
I did not see General Grievous.
What a missed opportunity. Maybe next year.
The other thing about parades that's kind of wild, especially there's a lot of fire trucks in this parade.
Yes, and you get the old fire trucks.
Yeah.
Those are cool. The ones, 100-year-old fire trucks, they look like.
There were fire trucks of every color in this parade. There was even a fire truck of a basement service.
Yes.
That was blue. But anyway,
yeah.
Did you bring your daughter to the parade?
Yeah.
Big earmuffs on?
Yes.
Okay. Because parades.
Yeah, because those are loud.
It's kind of a weird, whatever. We do what we do. You show up, and there are a lot of fire trucks and a lot of loud horns and a lot of sirens, and they are hitting that siren a lot.
Yes.
And they are hitting that horn a lot. And 40% of the people on the side of the streets absolutely hate the siren and are melting down. Kids are losing their minds, screaming and running, earphones on, and she's like, hit it again.
Yeah.
It's just, my poor son, can we go home? It's fine. You'll be fine. He's wearing headphones, still upset about it. But yeah, lot of noise. But we had a good time.
You need it, though. You got to have it.
Yeah. That's how you know there's a parade.
Right.
And
The problem is they come without alert. Unless you're watching the guy in the driver's seat, to know when he's going to launch that horn, you don't really know when the horn is coming.
Yeah.
Because the trucks are moving so slow, they're within the horn blasting zone for you, for a long time. So you don't know when it's happening.
What kind of parade resume you got? How many parades have you been in?
None.
None? Not even a Little League parade?
Probably would I remember that? I probably would remember that. I don't remember ever being in one, no.
Okay.
I played Little League, so maybe I was somewhere along the way.
A couple for Little League, of course, back in the day.
Okay.
And then in the marching band. In marching band, playing trombone, playing the giant. It's called the contra. It's a tuba that goes up on your shoulder. played that in a parade?
I don't even like high school sports. I don't remember us being involved in any parades of any sort. I don't remember. No. Is that how do you get into one?
Be in a marching band?
Sometimes you just see like guy in his truck is driving down the parade. There's no decorations. Like how'd that guy get here?
Yeah.
Like how hard is it to get into one of these parades?
Good question. Depends on the
Do I
parade.
got to know somebody with like an old truck? Can I get in? Is that it? Is that all it takes?
Might be different. Might be easier to get into some parades than others. St. Patrick's Day, Memorial Day.
Well, right, yeah.
Here's a good question. When the Bills or Sabres finally win the championship and there is a parade, will Chewbacca and Boba Fett, will they make that parade? The same way they did this one.
They'll be in the crowd at least. I don't know if they'll make it into the actual.
You got to have something for the kids, you
Right.
know? 8030550. Put up a Twitter poll about our conversation earlier on. Does your dream Sabres offseason include the biggest acquisition/addition to the team being a new proven goaltender? Figured that was the easiest way to ask.
I think it's a good way to put it.
What you're saying is like your ideal offseason is it's one guy, right?
Yep.
It's Hellebuck.
It's because, right, like there's nobody else that I've heard the name of being available that screams to me that's more of a sure thing than what you've already got. Like I was just looking in the break at the Daily Faceoff has a trade bait board for the offseason.
All right.
And the goalies on that board are Jordan Binnington.
No thanks.
No thank you.
It'd be a conflict of like emotion there.
Wouldn't it? Well, and also I don't think he's any better as an idea than what you've got.
Isn't he a big game goalie though?
If you were worried about Hellebuck going down a peg last year, take a peek
was
at
worse.
Binnington's numbers. He was like down with Bobrovsky at the bottom of the league.
Right. Linus Ullmark is on this list.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sam Montembeault is on this list, who is just the third goalie in Montreal.
Yeah, they're
right?
trying to jettison him out of there.
Philip Gustafsson, who I think is a good goalie but needs hip surgery.
Correct.
So that's a risk. Stolarz in Toronto, no. Aiden Hill in Vegas. Like again, like the rest of these names are just guys that you would equate to what you've already got at best.
Exactly.
By the way, their tier 4 is Luukkonen, Lyon, Ellis, and Levi.
The full
Sabres
tier four.
roster.
They just listed the 4 Sabres goalies under tier 4. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We're just assuming like someone's got to get traded because
I'll trade you these 4 goalies. You trade me. Imagine that.
Right.
4 for 1.
The trade of a lifetime. The Sabres have packaged 4 goalies to yeah, 80305.
Yeah, like Hellebuck's the only one I see that like that's a clear and obvious upgrade.
Where the name-
unless there's a guy that's becomes available that doesn't seem like he is right now.
Right. Joe in New Jersey is up first. Joe, good morning.
Morning, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Good. Yeah, I just wanted to weigh in on the whole Connor Hellebuck discussion because it really I do agree with Joe on that one. Like it really does seem like it's our only need. It's like a restaurant owner that's like, yeah, I got this whole front staff tonight that could really steal the show, but then I got these 2 cooks in the back. One might botch everybody's order, or like you don't want to have that in the Stanley Cup Series. It sucks having to always be like, okay, who's it going to be? Is somebody going to steal the show? Is somebody going to ruin the show? But other than that, yeah. So, but I wanted to also weigh in on saying like how Connor Hellebuck was maybe a little too old. But if we go back and we remember back in 2001 when the Sabres traded Dominic Hasek to the Detroit Red Wings, he was like, what, 35 years old then? Didn't he go on to win a Stanley Cup like the next season after that?
Yep.
And then another one a few years down the road. So, I mean, I'm not saying Connor Hellebuck is Dominic Hasek, but he is a really high caliber goalie, and maybe age isn't as important with the goaltending position as maybe we're expecting it to be. And I think we should go all in on that. If the opportunity is there, take it.
Is he on a ship?
Watch it.
It sounds like he's
Or
on a
truck.
ship. Like the age part for me, I'm not telling you that there's no risk in trading for Hellebuck. I think there is, but I mean, and this could be for any goalie, I think. But again, I don't know who else fits, this problem. I'm not worried about a guy 33 years old. Like just at that position, like he mentioned Hasek. That I mean, that's one from 20 years ago, but that's true. Fleury won the Vezina at 37 after he got traded to Vegas or got caught up by Vegas. Bobrovsky just won the Cup at 36 and 37. Like Now, I've got a limit. I don't want Bobrovsky at 38 years old. But
hold on a
at
minute.
33, there's just so few guys I feel like where their play just dropped off at that point.
What was the trade package for Hasek? Unimpressive. It was not a big deal.
Well, there wasn't the rumor that Fedorov was going to be in it, and Hasek said, I'm not going if Fedorov's not here.
I mean, and then the
I
Sabres
think
backed
Paul
off.
was told that story.
Okay.
Paul was told that Fedorov was in the original deal, and Hasek wouldn't let him be in the deal.
Okay.
Can we just tell-
Instead, they took
Kozlov.
Slava Kozlov and what, a
And
first?
like I don't even know if they got a first. I think it wasn't much at the end of it.
Yeah.
And like any one of these deals, I'll pull up the full trade package. I feel like it was so insignificant that we don't remember what the trade package is off the top of our heads.
Miller's another one. Miller got traded, I think, from here at 33.
Yeah.
And he had a couple, statistically at least, he had a couple of really good years after that. And he cost what? Was it just a first? What else was in that trade? I think it might have just been a first. Like, it wasn't like a crazy
nuts,
package.
yeah.
Trading a late first round pick. You know, like,
Right.
And that's kind of the other part of this is this doesn't have to be a Hellebuck point or a goalie point. Any trade the Sabres are going to be involved in this offseason, your first is not the first that you've had. The NHL draft is so different from a top 10 pick to where the Sabres are about to be at, I think, 27. Like, just any trade that is this, and then I got to throw my first round pick to me is like almost just included in whatever you want at this point.
Yeah.
Sure, you could get a great player out of that. We talked about Kulik last week, who went near the end of the first round, but your odds of getting a player of high caliber at where the Sabres are about to be picking, I want them to be trading that pick far more than I've wanted them to trade an eighth pick, years ago.
The problem is other teams know it's worth significantly less.
I know. Right. Yeah. That's right.
Hasek was acquired by the Red Wings for Slava Kozlov, a 2002 first-round pick, which was 30th overall.
Okay.
And we've never said this name on the air before. That's how insignificant of a first-round pick this was of the Sabres. Jim Slater.
Whoa.
Slava Kozlov,
Never heard that name in my life.
Jim Slater, and a 2003 conditional pick that did not get exercised. Right.
He won the cup. What was the condition on the trade?
5 cups? Who knows? Right. Honestly, maybe it was like games played because he did not play that much.
Maybe.
No.
That's one of those trades where for Detroit, first off, you didn't pay that much. If they had paid a hefty price, it would have been, well, he won the cup, but he did not play there very long. He then went on to play more games later on for Ottawa in his 40s.
I think that's right.
And then he went back to Detroit. He kind of split time when they won the cup a second time, I think.
Yes. He went to Ottawa. Then you're right. But his second stint in Detroit was like fuller seasons and played a little bit more.
But they got
he won the Jennings Trophy playing 40 games. Right. He's split in time. But my point was just going to be that this Hellebuck idea, it for a lot of people I think comes down to price. As you say, like if he's got a no move and he's picking between 3 teams like Colorado, Florida, and Buffalo, then the price maybe doesn't get as high as it would be if there were 30 teams.
Right.
Yep.
If it's Slava Kozlov, the 30th pick and future considerations, like sign me up for that, whatever.
Sure.
You'll trade anything to Winnipeg. And I wonder, the Sabres, of course, like Jarmo just made a trade with Winnipeg. Was there any flirting, any conversation, any let's touch base this offseason? Like Hellebuck's not going to move mid-season at the deadline, but have those doors of communication been opened? To a degree.
They definitely, Shoveldayoff and Yarmo are known to have a little bit of a relationship. Like they know each other.
They made 2 trades at the deadline. Then they circle back
that's
around
right.
and
Tanner
Pearson
Pearson
for
was like
nothing.
a late little let's wedge this one in. We need one more thing.
Yeah.
And there are, to your point about the age and goalies, Joe, there's a lot of reasons for that I could get into about why goalies can last longer. So we got to get to break here. But if you want to get into that, I got a lot to say about that too.
803-0550, our phone number, 1-888-550-2550 tonight. Vegas and Colorado as the Golden Knights look for a sweep. Sweep.
How many points did they have this year?
A lot. 100 and not
No, they didn't. They had
No, I thought you meant Colorado.
Oh, sorry. Right. Yeah. Colorado had a lot.
They had a lot.
Yeah, Colorado had 121 points. Vegas had 95. Wow.
95 doesn't make the playoffs in the East.
Right. Yeah, they would have missed the
95 doesn't make
the playoffs in the East. They won their division.
Yeah. Good times. 803-0550 to join us on WGR. The Sabres we're about to have an offseason where they are in on every single rumor. We are about to have a Brandon Bean. They were in on that offseason for the Sabres. The Bills are in on everything, right? Max Crosby, they made a call on this guy, and I've already seen 15 different Sabres reports like, could Edmonton be a landing spot for Yuri Kulik and Devin Levi? And I think, who are they getting from Edmonton? I don't know. But they're in on every rumor. They're going to be on absolutely every single rumor page, and that's kind of a good life.
They exist.
Because they exist. We can think about it. Whether it's Alex Tuck and the latest on what that might be. I've seen some reports about a number there and some term there, and I think we're all kind of getting ourselves, I shouldn't say all, lots are maybe migrating to maybe this shouldn't happen. Feels like the gas gauge is going that way a little bit on the Tuck idea, and that opens up flexibility to do other things. So whatever. I'm in for the rumors. I'm in for all the reports of what might happen because it's exciting.
Well, I think the reason Hellebuck is getting thrown in there, and maybe there should be a rumor about some guy that could come in and like really help their power play as well. Because if I look at the Sabres right now objectively, and I think, all right, if they wanted to be aggressive in improving something for next year, where would you attack? Because they have arguably the best top four in hockey on the blue line. So, like, I could get to my third pair, but how much do guys that play 11 minutes a night move the meter anyway when I get to these big games? The top four guys are going to be the ones that are really playing. The forward group is as deep as anybody in hockey, and I've got all this youth coming in that should even help that along even further. So, again, I could point to the power play, but the only other thing I can look at is basically to say, like, about, right, like, their goaltending right now is the same as these other four teams left, which is it's a coin flip. Well, okay, if I don't really have anything else to get substantially better at, let me make that better than a coin flip. I think I'm a great team that can win. If I think I can win the Stanley Cup with the forwards and defensemen that I currently have, which I think they could. I think that is in there. There is a Stanley Cup winner in those four lines and those defense pairings. Then let me make that a 75% chance that my goalies are going to hold up, rather than, well, my team's great, let me flip a coin to see if I'm going to get eliminated in the series because I have no idea if my goalies are going to be good or bad.
Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Hope you had a good long weekend. I got to check if something finished from the weekend. There was a stat of the day in the making. Okay. Yeah.
Finished.
Yeah. So,
what finished over the weekend? Was it a Premier League stat?
No, but I certainly have some things to say about the Premier League.
I'm
sure glad you asked about that. Thank you, of course. Thank you.
I don't know if I asked. I just maybe I did.
Okay. Oh, it did not come to. It did not. We were on our way to Scotty Scheffler, who did not win at the CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, right?
Yeah.
Into his fourth round, he was looking to become the only PGA Tour player, I believe it's ever.
Okay.
Yeah. Without making a 5 or worse.
Oh yeah,
He was
I saw
into the
that.
final round without a 5 on the scorecard. He got a 5 on the 12th, which is
In the
a
final
par
round.
5. But no 5s, nothing worse. He was into the final round without ever carding a 5, which is nuts.
Yeah.
So, but it did not happen. So sorry, scrap that from the stat of the day.
Not the stat of the day?
Didn't happen.
That would have been incredible.
Right.
He was 6 holes away.
New sponsored feature, our almost stat of the day, brought to you by Wishful Thinking.
Right. He didn't win,
He did not.
and he had all of that going for him.
Yes, he did not win.
No. What a bum.
Right.
Has he won it all this year? Wyndham Clark, 30 under par. What is this tournament? I did not watch much of this tournament.
Notice a rattle in your ducts or a rise in your heating and cooling bills if you do. Give Belknap a ring with 0% financing. The cost of upgrading to a high-efficiency dual-fuel heating system is a breeze. Learn more at belknapheating.com. That's belknapheating.com. Go green, save energy and money with Belknap. Schedule a free estimate on your new installation. Give Belknap a ring at 688-1728 for more comfort and less ka-ching. Give Belknap a ring. Jeremy and Joe back in a little bit talking about Sabres offseason. The Bills back to OTAs again today. Jim Leonard meets with the media today. We can talk a little about the defensive expectations, all coming up here on WGR. The Sabres we're about to have an offseason where they are in on every single rumor. We are about to have a Brandon Bean. They were in on that offseason for the Sabres. The Bills are in on everything, right? Max Crosby, they made a call on this guy, and I've already seen 15 different Sabres reports like, could Edmonton be a landing spot for Yuri Kulik and Devin Levi? And I think, who are they getting from Edmonton? I don't know. But they're in on every rumor. They're going to be on absolutely every single rumor page, and that's kind of a good life.
They exist.
Because they exist. We can think about it. Whether it's Alex Tuck and the latest on what that might be. I've seen some reports about a number there and some term there, and I think we're all kind of getting ourselves, I shouldn't say all, lots are maybe migrating to maybe this shouldn't happen. Feels like the gas gauge is going that way a little bit on the Tuck idea, and that opens up flexibility to do other things. So whatever. I'm in for the rumors. I'm in for all the reports of what might happen because it's exciting.
Well, I think the reason Hellebuck is getting thrown in there, and maybe there should be a rumor about some guy that could come in and like really help their power play as well. Because if I look at the Sabres right now objectively, and I think, all right, if they wanted to be aggressive in improving something for next year, where would you attack? Because they have arguably the best top 4 in hockey on the blue line. So, like, I could get to my third pair, but how much do guys that play 11 minutes a night move the meter anyway when I get to these big games? The top 4 guys are going to be the ones that are really playing. The forward group is as deep as anybody in hockey, and I've got all this youth coming in that should even help that along even further. So, again, I could point to the power play, but the only other thing I can look at is basically to say, like, about, right, like, their goaltending right now is the same as these other 4 teams left, which is it's a coin flip. Well, okay, if I don't really have anything else to get substantially better at, let me make that better than a coin flip. I think I'm a great team that can win. If I think I can win the Stanley Cup with the forwards and defensemen that I currently have, which I think they could. I think that is in there. There is a Stanley Cup winner in those 4 lines and those defense pairings. Then let me make that a 75% chance that my goalies are going to hold up, rather than, well, my team's great, let me flip a coin to see if I'm going to get eliminated in the series because I have no idea if my goalies are going to be good or bad.
The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. Sal will also be joining Jeremy and Joe later this morning. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1, and Montreal had less than 15 shots in both of those games. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado. After a 5-3 win on Sunday, they play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, the Athletics' Joseph Pearson, said Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports that the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season. And Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after surgery last season. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks, they swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. And in the Western Conference, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. The Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Zach, nice touch off by Stone. Backhand score! Tomas Hertl gives Vegas the lead for the first time tonight.
Yeah, we're watching the conference finals, I should say. In the West, it's Vegas, who would not have made the playoffs in the East. 3-0 on Colorado. And in the East, it's Carolina beating a Montreal team that is lucky to get 3 shots in a period.
Do we think that's what the Sabres would look like against Carolina?
Absolutely not. No. Montreal looked like that against other teams. They looked like that against Buffalo and against Tampa, and the Sabres rarely looked like that, I think. They had some stinkers, but not too many.
Carolina does do that to a lot of teams.
Yeah. I walk around, and every 3 to 4 hours, my brain fires off the thought, they really lost in Game 7 in overtime. Mm-hmm. It's been a week. A week from today, we came in to talk about and say, like,
It's only been a week?
It's only been a week.
A week from the day after they lost.
Yeah.
Right.
Yesterday was a week.
Yeah.
Today's a week since we came in to say, ugh.
Yeah.
They really lost in Game 7 in overtime.
How much do you think about the 2-on-1 still? Is that like the Sabres version of Tyler Bass missing a field goal against the Chiefs, or
I don't know.
Is that Lindy said that was the moment? I thought we were going to win the game right there. So Lindy talked like he thinks about that. I thought about it a couple of times. Like, just what if he had just ripped it? What if he had just thrown it over to Benson? And they're playing in this series, and what they look like, and what could be different than what we're seeing from Montreal. If he had just made a different decision in that moment than what he did.
Yeah. The thing,
because there really wasn't another moment in overtime where
there's a couple moments
that I think about, like, that right there, that's where it could have happened.
There's one in the third. Zucker's 2-on-1 in the third where he passes instead of shoots. Dobic is kind of scrambling over to the side and he passes it back into traffic.
Right.
And there's moments. The thing I thought about for all that this weekend was, you mentioned the Premier League, and Arsenal had their final game of the season. They raised their trophy. They're going to have their parade. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to be a Premier League fan to kind of get this point, so go with me if you will. They hadn't won the trophy in 22 years, the league, which for a team that's that big, that's kind of a long drought. That's their own drought.
Definitely a very
22 years, that's a drought, which it's the next generation of fans finally saw them do it, and they also do it after 3 years in a row finishing second, and everybody kind of expecting them to fall apart. And because of that, this massive unloading of stress and everything, relief and joy, it all comes. And I told you this throughout the season, I can't stop thinking about the Bills. That once you do it, everything that was ever said about you and why you couldn't or why you wouldn't is immediately a lie. And it's immediately poof. It's just, that was just stuff people said. Like, if the Bills win the Super Bowl this year, the celebrations will be, of course, like, out of control, and we will immediately think, all right, we'll go win another one. And all those times that anyone said you couldn't win it before. I mean, listen, they did make a coaching change, so maybe you'd be able to lean heavily into they didn't win because of McDermott, which, like, I'm sure people are going to take that out for a spin this year, right? Mm-hmm. If they start 5-0, it'll be that would never happen under McDermott. Any success they have will be that wouldn't have happened with McDermott. And right or wrong, it's going to be part of the story that's told. I'm not even telling you that it's necessarily wrong. And if they win it, we'll have the coaching change to thank. Maybe you'll think they would have done it anyway if Josh Allen goes nuclear because Joe Brady's in charge. Mm-hmm. But that's what I thought about this weekend. I watched a team celebrate a championship, and I watched players that had been there through year in and year out, falling short and having it be their identity, finally be the guys that were raising the trophy. And I thought about the Bills all weekend.
That's happening with the Knicks a little bit right now too, which is they made the conference finals last year and they fired their coach. So, like, Thibodeau, he's not there. That move, like, that maybe that doesn't happen. This doesn't happen. Where they're now in the NBA finals if they don't make their coaching change. It doesn't even really...
Is that Vegas, too? I mean, Vegas always fires their
I'm
coach.
Sure, is doing that right now. They brought in Tortorella with, 4 games left in the season. With the Bills, I don't think there is an outcome where they make the Super Bowl. I don't know that it matters offensively, defensively. I don't know that it matters at all how it happens.
It'll just
be
the
story that will get told.
McDermott wouldn't have done
if it happened this year specifically.
Mm-hmm.
If Joe Brady doesn't give us a year or two before they make it where he does some of the same things or lets you down in a big moment, then I think it's just going to be, they scored 40 points a game on offense. Oh yeah, that's because McDermott was holding Joe Brady back. They held the other teams to 15 points a game in the 4 playoff games. That's because McDermott wasn't here. I don't think it matters how it happens. That is it. I don't know that I will agree with it depending on what it is. Wonder if that will end up happening, but
you won't care.
We won't care.
Right.
No, we won't. At that point, we won't care. Can that be done in the regular season, though? I don't think the Bills are too far along for me to be hearing victory laps about why they made their coaching change. If they're 6-1 in the regular season, they're always great in the regular season.
That's right. I'll give you one thing that could happen in the regular season that would be chalked up to McDermott's gone. They don't lose back-to-back games. Every year, the last couple years, they would have, remember, the lull. They would lose back-to-back to Miami and Atlanta or whoever it was. You'd have this mid-season because I can remember this. Maybe it was Miami and Houston this year. There's a time where they lose back-to-back games.
Yeah, they lost to New England and Atlanta.
Okay,
back-to-back.
And every year they lose these games, and we would say, "Don't worry, they did that last year. Don't worry, they did that the year before." And every single year we'd kind of talk ourselves into, well, this is normal for them.
Right.
Now, what kind of standard is that, though?
The standard, right? I'm looking. They never lost more than 2 games in a row.
Right.
The lulls was they lost a back-to-back game 1 time during a season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
That would sometimes cost them the 1 seed, and
right. That's right.
Do we think that that's one of the reasons? So as we're looking for things that will make McDermott different, I don't know if Josh starts throwing the ball.
You already said it.
What?
1 seed.
1 seed.
That's a thing they have not done. Yeah. That if they did it this year, for whatever the reason is, I think that would be that's the thing McDermott couldn't do. Brady pushed the right buttons, 2 buttons he pushed that were right when he needed to, and now that's the difference, and that's why they're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
That could definitely be sold.
To me, the number one thing that if I see a difference, the number one thing that I'll see would be their passing numbers go back up. If they're throwing the ball more often.
Yep.
That's something that they stopped doing. When Brady got the job, they started to run the ball more, and they did it very well. So, you could make the case, of course, they should keep doing that. Now, this offseason, the trade of DJ Moore, and I was reading something in fantasy football talking about vacated targets and the idea of vacated targets, and whoever it was pointing out that when Diggs left, those weren't vacated targets, they were eliminated targets. They threw way less. Almost the number of targets that he got in a season there were that many fewer passes.
Yeah, they became run plays.
Right.
Right.
So not even vacated targets, just like non-targets. And I don't know, is DJ Moore coming back or coming here going to get Joe Brady to a spot where they're not going to be run heavy like they have been? Was he only run heavy because Sean McDermott thought the best way to beat this team is to be two-dimensional and blah, blah, on and on and on and on? Like, we don't know Joe Brady outside of Sean McDermott, and if you're looking for things that might look different, to me, that's what I would look for. Like, hey, look, the Bills are now third in the league in neutral pass rate. That would be a very big departure from what they had been.
If you go through, that's a good point. Like, what would you think, just off the top of your head, what's DJ Moore going to get target-wise? Like, what's a rough number, rough estimate?
128.
128. Okay, so to find him 128 targets, where are the vacated targets from? Because guys that are no longer here are Gabe Davis with 18, Elijah Moore with 17, Brandon Cooks with 11, Curtis Samuel with 9. It's not a lot. I just listed off. So
more likely they're created targets.
They're created, is somebody going to go way down? Shakir's not going down from 95, right? Coleman from 59.
That sounds like a good number for a role player, right? Like maybe he gets to like 40, 50.
If he's eliminated from the offense, you could just give all of those to DJ Moore. But right, like if he's on the team still, how much does that go down? Kincaid at 49. I think I'd want that to go up.
You want it to go up because of usage.
Knox at 49, Cook at 40, Palmer at 37. Like, I think you're right. Like, you want to find 120 targets for DJ Moore. There's not really a lot that you can just steal from someone from last year or add from guys who left. Like, you'd have to do it. You'd have to create them from snaps that last year were run plays.
Yeah.
Or maybe I should expect them to throw the ball more this year.
Maybe. Then again, like...
Maybe not like a crazy amount, but like a modest... They're not going to be the Bengals, I think.
I mean, under Brian Dable, they were, and he was a candidate, and he did not get the job, of course. And, you know, when Joe Brady goes in there for his interviews, are they asking him, what's your run-pass balance? I feel like it's important to be balanced. You know, what kind of speech is there for that? It might be game plan specific. How many times did the Bills think we need to throw the ball all over this team and score 50 points to win? Like, was that ever a thing, or was it we have to run to keep their opposing quarterback off the field? You know, there were game plans along the way where we watched them slow play games, and I thought it, you know, kept the opposition in the game. If that was just McDermott kind of ruling from above, maybe we get an indication that that's the case.
Right. Yeah, there was like one game last year maybe that I remember being like that. Wasn't Tampa kind of like that? Like they came out where like this is going to be a shootout. We have to play to throw the ball, we have to play to score a lot. And maybe that's the only time I can think of that really happened last year.
Yeah.
Whereas, right, like when Dable was the coach, it was like every week that they played like
that. Like New England, we're probably counting down the days to the A.J. Brown trade, right?
Yes, we are.
A week from today, he's a member of the Patriots, probably. And are you – Jim Leonard's going to speak today at Bills OTAs. Are you walking into the season thinking that if you get into a game against New England in the playoffs that you're going to hold them to what? What's your number? The last time these two teams played in the regular season, what was the score? 35-31? Shootout. Right. New England runs out to a big lead. The Bills get back in because of their offense and win the game in New England. The first game was much more lower scoring. But, you know, you it's always been a thing that I'll self-report. Like, I got numbed to McDermott's problems in the postseason defensively because I just kind of chalked it up to, well, you're going to play good teams, and they know they're playing against Josh Allen, so they're going to step on the gas the whole game. Like that's the challenge for a Bills defense in the postseason. Let's say you play Cincinnati in the divisional round. How many points is Cincinnati thinking they're going to need? 30? 34? Like they're going to come in and think it's going to take points. So the challenge is not quite the same as it is for every other team. Again, I'm telling you, that was me being numbed. If Jim Leonard puts it together with his defense and is able to hold Cincinnati off the board or hold Jacksonville or Denver down.
Or New England.
New England, because these teams would score 30, then I'll be sitting here, you know, standing ovation for Jim Leonard. I just think the job is a lot tougher than looking at the score on the scoreboard, right? Like the Denver game is a great example of that. What did your defense do? They made multiple stops in the game. You turned it over 5 times. Your offense was asleep for a full half, and you lost by 3 in a game where it's 33-30. Your quarterback gave them a free 3 points at the end of the half. Like, I just think the degree of difficulty, I know other teams do get their stops I like to point to the NFC Championship game between the Seahawks and the Rams, where that was not about this amazing Seattle defense. They couldn't stop the Rams. Their offense got it done. And I'm going to need games like that from Brady, so whatever. We always get back into this conversation about it's just going to matter. Just get it done. Find a way to get it done. Doesn't matter how you get it done. If they win a game 33-30, which is exactly the score they lost in Denver, that's giving up 30 points. We'll say, like, hey, they made stops when they needed to, which is exactly what happened in Denver.
Right.
And then the offense, Right,
because that game they gave up 6 points on 2 drives where Denver had 2 yards. And then they had a field goal on their second drive of overtime. So, like, that's 9 points right there that the offense really was at fault for.
Right.
That the defense gave up. So 33, like, that's how I always treated that game. Like, I felt like the defense gave up 24 in that game. Like, the offense gifted them 2 field goals that the defense didn't allow any yards on, and then they made their stop. They made their 3 and out in overtime to get the offense the ball back, and then you couldn't score, so they had to go back out again.
Right. Questionable call, of course, like whether or not you think that was a catch or not.
So, like, to me, like, right, like, that's where I don't know that it'll be annoying. I guess if they win the games, then who cares, and it'll be great. But what if that happens again this year? Because I think that's the challenge, and that's also the newness of, well, I got new coaches, and I've got a new defensive coordinator. You don't have 13 seconds anymore,
which sounds
sitting
like
there.
Right, which was a big thing. Because
it was huge, and really it caused, I think, McDermott to be blamed more in those spots. Like, I think because of that residual, bitterness, that game against Denver, where, again, they really allowed 24 points, and the offense cost them 9, that is not going to get mentioned because this dude has that history.
Yeah.
You gave up 33. That's just how it is. And if Jim Leonard had that same game, then I feel like there would be more context added to, like, no, that actually wasn't as bad a game as the scoreboard looked like.
Right. Like Jim Leonard's defense in Denver gave up 30 to this Bills offense.
Right.
That turned it over 5 times.
Right.
Like, but they got the win. So I'm optimistic about the defense and ready to kind of change my own perception of what good can be once we get to the playoffs. So we'll get a chance to see that throughout the regular season because they have a bunch of big tests. And, like the first 5 games of the year are huge tests based on who they play. Maybe not Houston offensively, but after that,
right.
Detroit, the Chargers.
They're no better
Patriots.
Offensively. They can't be worse than they were offensively, right?
The Bills lost to a backup last year.
Right.
They lost to Davis Mills in that game.
That's right. You're right, though. It's the next 4 games after that. Although you get 3 of them at home.
Yep.
Right? But, yeah, Lions, Chargers, Patriots, Rams. Yeah.
Big tests. Big tests. Football season on the way. OTAs rolling along. We'll talk with Sal a little bit later today and also get an update on him tomorrow. Jim Leonard will speak today.
It felt like football this morning.
Yeah?
I like this is there was a little fog. The sun was just coming. Like this is a St. John Fisher fog right here, is what I was thinking.
All right.
Yeah.
Bright out.
Just crisp enough, like 50s. We were talking this morning. I mean, they're on the field today, right? Like they're practicing.
Yeah.
What's training camp? 2 months away?
Yep. Less than 2 months.
We still have some time.
Rob in Connecticut. Rob, good morning.
Jeremy, Joe, Owen, how are you guys doing this morning? I hope you had a great weekend.
Thanks, Rob.
Missed you guys yesterday. Look, I'm hearing you. I'm listening to you talking about the Bills. Now I get to talk about Buffalo Bills. Yay! One of the things I was thinking about as far as the receiving, I think this year Josh Allen has to definitely trust his receivers more because that's what it seemed like last year for me. As a perspective, he just wasn't trusting. We definitely trusted the run game more, but this year he definitely needs to trust in his receivers and balance it out like you guys were talking about. And that's the one thing that I was more focused on when I was listening to you two talk. So hopefully Joe Brady does that, and our offensive coordinator can come together with Joe Brady and make a passing game more trusting for Josh. Thank you.
Thanks, Rob. Hopefully the receivers hopefully are worthy of it.
Yeah, they have to be open, right? Like they have to be good. Like the trust has to start there, and it was evident that Allen didn't trust them last year. I mean, what's job one for Joe Brady, like on offense? Like, and maybe like you could say DJ Moore, you could say like different mechanisms to get to the same result, but you have to get Josh Allen to take fewer sacks.
Yeah, 48 was the number?
40 on the
okay,
dot.
40.
Maybe it was 48 with the playoffs. It was 4 in the playoffs. So 44 if you include the playoffs.
Yeah, you got to get that number back down under 20.
His third down sack rate over the last 3 years, he went from 5% to 4% to 14% last year. Like, he was getting sacked. He was getting hit. And what types of sacks were they? A lot of them were, I'm running around, I'm looking, I'm running around, I'm looking, there's no one open, I'm still buying time, still nobody open, now I get hit. Like, there were a lot of those receiver sacks. Guys not getting open sacks. And to me, if I'm Joe Brady, like, to me, job one is you could do it through the run game if you want. You could do it through quick passing, or you could just have it so that guys are open and Allen can get rid of the ball quicker. I just think that has to be their priority. That he cannot take 40 sacks again this year, both for his own health and also for just drive-killing plays. And I guess that didn't show up as much as you might think it would. Maybe it would for other teams in killing their offensive production. Like, they still ended up doing fine, but 40 sacks is not a recipe for success for him over the long term.
Not just like drive killing, but I mean, the quarterback was on crutches after the season.
Right.
He's playing on that foot. And as soon as the games end, here he is on crutches.
That play was one where he might not have gotten hit, but the play he hurt his foot on was, I'm buying time, I'm looking, no one open. Let me reverse field
to the goal line
to buy more time, and then he slipped and hit his foot, and now he's hurt.
Yeah. 803-0550, our phone number, if you want to join us, 1-888-550-2550. I think the Giant Buffalo are going to, the install, does that happen in the next week or so?
Pretty sure that's in the next...
They said beginning of June.
Yeah, the next week or two, I think. They're going to start. And they're too big to really like do an unveil. You can't really hide them.
You're going to see them going up.
I was thinking about them actually on Friday because I was driving around and there was a giant flatbed with a big green tarp over the top for something huge.
You thought it was the Buffalo?
It was one of these like giant, like it was going 5 miles an hour. It had like escorts because it was so slow. And I'm like, are those the giant buffalo? Are those the giant buffalo?
You guys got to do a remote broadcast when they drop them off.
I don't think they were the giant buffalo, but
what do you think it was?
I don't know.
A submarine?
Well, some others.
Like
probably another statue for somewhere.
Maybe.
Didn't they just put up a big metal buffalo at the waterfront downtown?
Yes. There's a new buffalo statue down there that's made of birds.
Okay.
I haven't seen it up close.
I think I saw this truck after that, though. So I don't know.
That's a statue.
I thought it would be a statue.
It's the shape of a buffalo made out of birds, which is artistic and cool.
Like
birds.
Okay, sorry. Not real birds.
No.
Okay.
No. Sculpted birds. Not actual dead birds.
You said made out of birds.
It's made
wait.
It's made out of steel.
I thought it was silver.
All right, sure. It's made out of...
And also that would probably be illegal.
To make it out of birds?
I think so. Yeah, made out of seagull. I think that has to be illegal. Absolutely.
I don't think it's all seagulls. It's, drawing attention to the birds native to the area.
The stadium just looks done now.
Yes, it does.
Maybe not the
logo's up.
Maybe not the concourse areas yet, but like the outside and the inside like field area of the stadium, it just looks done.
We're like how many weeks away from the blue and red?
First week of August.
In that neighborhood.
So 2 months and change. 10 weeks maybe?
Yeah.
9-10 weeks. You'll go to that, right?
I think so. Maybe. Between the blue and red and then 2 preseason games, you'll have 3 opportunities, or the public, I should say, will have 3 opportunities before the season begins on Thursday night. It's gonna be a strange year, just a whole new existence.
I just wonder what the ticket setup will be like for that, because will they sell out the blue and red?
Hasn't the blue and red been only the lower bowl?
I've sat in the upper bowl.
Okay.
But the upper bowl was never really that full.
Right.
But this is not just the blue and red. This is almost like a welcome party to the new stadium. Because I've thought about, like, I have season tickets this year, and I've thought, like, I don't know how they're going to do it for blue and red tickets. And if they're tough tickets to get, or they're limited and, like, season ticket holders get first grab at it, like, I've considered giving them to someone else that doesn't have tickets, that, like, give them a shot to go see the stadium, because I'm going to be there a million times. So, like, I'll let them go to the blue and red. Or to the preseason game. I don't know. I need my first time there to be the blue and red of the preseason game. I could just do it. Just have that be the opening
night.
Yeah.
Don't you want a preseason
Like what will you remember in 25 years is the first time in the stadium? Like you want to tell the story of the opener.
Sure, but
Not the practice they had 2 weeks before.
But at the practice they have, you'll get to know where the bathrooms are. You don't want to be at the opener on Thursday night and think, where's the closest bathroom? What's my best line of approach here? Hey, I want a beer. Where do I go? You want to have that mapped out.
Got to do recon.
Yeah.
It's preseason for everybody, as they say.
How hard are bathrooms to find?
Depends on the signage, I guess. I don't know.
I think they'll be easy to spot. I think.
Will that be the thing we notice more than anything? Is that there are more bathrooms per person? That you won't have the incredibly long lines?
I think so. Yeah.
Because Bills, the old stadium, you could say you love a lot of things about it, and as it's being torn down more and more, these pictures of these giant bucket, whatever they call them. What do they call them? Payloaders? No.
You mean like the crane? Not the cranes. I don't know.
Excavator.
Yes, excavator. All my years of Gold Rush failed me there.
Okay. What got me was a song, a toddler song about I'm an excavator. Anyway, when they're digging all the seats out, it's like, oh, that's really sad. That's really sad. And then I remember, but the bathroom lines are not going to be the same. And I think, okay, that's worth it. that's worth it.
Right.
I don't have to leave with 5 minutes left in the second quarter to get in line for 12 minutes and stand outside the stadium in the lower bowl. We're going to leave that life behind.
Yeah.
No troughs, right?
I don't think so.
Would that jam up the men's room times?
No, I mean most places do not have troughs. Most places.
I think every other stadium I've ever been to doesn't have them.
And how different would a trough? Like how much more? I don't
room?
know. I just feel like that would push that many more people through there than.
I don't know.
You don't have to follow the unspoken rule of leaving the space between, right?
That's out the window in a game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much shoulder to shoulder. It's pretty close.
Leaving space.
Okay.
There's no buffers at the trough.
What are you talking about?
Right. No buffers
That's
at the
what
trough.
I'm saying.
That's not happening.
Yeah. 803-0550 to join us. 1-888-550-2550. OTAs back to it today. Jim Leonard, Bills defensive coordinator Jim Leonard, will be speaking with the media, so we'll get some of his thoughts on how things are going, their install, all that. Get his thoughts on Landon Jackson and Dwayne Carter adding a bunch of weight as they get their specific jobs changed a little bit. One of the things to track this offseason. Yeah, one other guy to track is like the weight of Dawkins. Like Deion Dawkins flat out said he's losing weight this offseason. When he comes in and tells everybody what he's at, like we'll get an idea of that number.
He was there, but he wasn't on the field doing anything.
All right.
So I don't know if that'll happen.
Are you
today
the kind of Bills fan that tracks the weight of the players?
Not unless it means they're changing positions. No. I don't know what Deion Dawkins' listed weight is off the top of my head. I could guess.
You're
but
pretty confident.
I'm not just walking around like.
And you're pretty confident he's not going to change positions.
I'm pretty sure he's not. No.
803-0550, 1-888-550-2550 on WGR. Jeremy White here for Russell's Tree and Shrub Farm. Was actually helping out my family. My sister-in-law had the Russells grab a bunch of stuff, and she got there. The message I got was
can that be done in the regular season though? I don't think the Bills are too far along for me to be hearing victory laps about why they made their coaching change. If they're 6-1 in the regular season, they're always great in the regular season.
That's right. I'll give you one thing that could happen in the regular season that would be chalked up to McDermott's gone. They don't lose back-to-back games. Every year, the last couple years, they would have, remember, the lull. They would lose back-to-back to Miami and Atlanta or whoever it was. Like you'd have this mid-season because I can remember this. Maybe it was Miami and Houston this year. There's a time where they lose back-to-back games.
Yeah, they lost to New England and Atlanta.
Okay,
back-to-back.
And every year they lose these games, and we would say, "Don't worry, they did that last year. Don't worry, they did that the year before." And every single year we'd kind of talk ourselves into, well, this is normal for them.
Right.
Now, what kind of standard is that, though?
The standard, right? Like I'm looking, they never lost more than 2 games in a row.
Right.
Like the lulls was they lost a back-to-back game one time during a season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And that would sometimes cost them the 1 seed, and
Right, that's right.
Do we think that that's one of the reasons? So, yeah, as we're looking for things that will make McDermott different, I don't know. If Josh starts throwing the ball,
you already said it.
What?
One seed.
One seed.
Like that's a thing they have not done. That if they did it this year, for whatever the reason is, I think that would be like, well, that's the thing McDermott couldn't do. Brady pushed the right buttons, 2 buttons he pushed that were right when he needed to, and now that's the difference, and that's why they're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like that could definitely be sold.
To me, the number one thing that if I see a difference, the number one thing that I'll see would be their passing numbers go back up. If they're that's something that they stopped doing. When Brady got the job, they started to run the ball more, and they did it very well. So, you could make the case, of course, they should keep doing that. Now, this offseason, the trade of DJ Moore, and like I was reading something in fantasy football talking about like vacated targets and the idea of vacated targets, and whoever it was pointing out that when Diggs left, those weren't vacated targets, they were eliminated targets. They threw way less. Almost the number of targets that he got in a season, there were that many fewer passes.
Yeah, they became run plays.
Right. So not even vacated targets, just like non-targets. And I don't know, is DJ Moore coming back or coming here going to get Joe Brady to a spot where they're not going to be run heavy like they have been? Was he only run heavy because Sean McDermott thought the best way to beat this team is to be two-dimensional and blah, blah, on and on and on and on? Like we don't know Joe Brady outside of Sean McDermott. And if you're looking for things that might look different, to me, that's what I would look for. Does your dream Sabres offseason include the biggest acquisition/addition to the team being a new proven goaltender? Figured that was the easiest way to ask.
I think it's a good way to put it.
What you're saying is like your ideal offseason is it's one guy, right?
Yep.
It's Hellebuyck.
It's because, right, like there's nobody else that I've heard the name of being available that screams to me that's more of a sure thing than what you've already got. Like I was just looking in the break at the Daily Faceoff has a trade bait board for the offseason.
All right.
And the goalies on that board are Jordan Binnington.
No thanks.
No thank you.
It'd be a conflict of like emotion there.
That too. Well, and also, I don't think he's any better as an idea than what you've got.
Isn't he a big game goalie though?
If you were worried about Hellebuyck going down a peg last year, take a peek
was
at
worse.
Binnington's numbers. He was like down with Bobrovsky at the bottom of the league.
Right. Linus Ullmark is on this list.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sam Montembeault is on this list, who is just the 3rd goalie in Montreal.
Yeah, they're
right?
trying to jettison him out of there.
Philip Gustafsson, who I think is a good goalie but needs hip surgery.
Correct.
So that's a risk. Stolars in Toronto, no. Aiden Hill in Vegas. Like again, like the rest of these names are just guys that you would equate to what you've already got at best.
Exactly.
By the way, their tier 4 is Luukkonen, Lyon, Ellis, and Levi.
The full tier
Sabres
4.
They just listed the 4 Sabres goalies under tier 4. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We're just assuming like someone's got to get traded because
I'll trade you these 4 goalies. You trade me. Imagine that.
Right.
4 for 1.
The trade of a lifetime. The Sabres have packaged 4 goalies to 80305.
Yeah, like Hellebuck's the only one I see that like that's a clear and obvious upgrade. Unless there's a guy that's becomes available that doesn't seem like he is right now.
Continue through Wednesday. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. Sal will also be joining Jeremy and Joe later this morning. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1, and Montreal had less than 15 shots in those games. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado after a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Joseph Person said Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after surgery last season. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. In the Western Conference, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
One of my favorite times, besides the one at Clemson, on Thursday night, coaches go home. We wore out, go home at 6 o'clock. Not Joe Brady. Joe Brady's going to sit in there and he's going to watch every end zone and study it and come up with maybe an extra game plan. And I got into work about 6 o'clock that morning, and Joe was just leaving the office. And this is all he told me. Coach, I got him. Yes.
Ed Orgeron, who Joe Brady worked for at LSU. Good morning, everybody. Jeremy and Joe. Indy 500 was this weekend. Dramatic finish there. That was nuts. I toyed with the idea of going to Indy at one point. I did not go.
Going to it?
Not yet. Yeah. Seems like a doable kind of trip, Fun, racing, cars go fast.
How far is Indy?
Indy, off the top of my head. Indy is 7 hours.
7 hours?
6 to 7 hours.
Closer than New York City to drive? Or about the same, you're saying?
7 hours, 34 minutes.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Owen was going.
That's not
Owen
bad.
was saying more.
I had in my head my
was that
drives to New Mexico and thinking that was further along that.
Once you get into Indiana, you can also drive like 85.
Yeah, that's
true.
too. That helps.
I've never been to Indy. I've only driven through it. Not even like an airport layover. Just drive by it. Oh, there it is. Mm-hmm. Driving from Chicago to Cincinnati, maybe, is what I was doing.
Okay. Yeah, that's never really been...
The Indy 500?
No.
I feel like that could be up there in like the bucket list of sporting
Something
events,
to do. Everyone that goes says it's great.
Indy or Daytona?
I like the Indy car. That too. I like the Indy 500.
I feel
It's a
like
little
Daytona,
different.
you gotta do Daytona.
Daytona, I think. If I were picking between the two, yeah, probably Daytona. I think it's just a tough time going to a sporting event where I don't care about who wins.
Bet
So
on
you
it.
got to get me to care about who wins.
Yeah.
I know I could just bet on
Throw a
it.
wager.
I know.
Good way to do it.
Well, I guess that would be the Kentucky Derby on some level too, right? Like I only care because I've got to. But see that
I've loved this horse
the
for
Derby,
years.
I envision being in fancy clothes. And I've got a ticket in my hand that I'm waving. Like it just feels different.
Yeah.
Smacking the program as they're coming down the stretch.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
The Derby is also
Yes.
like 14 races as opposed to one
Right.
race happening the whole time.
Right.
True.
Which that I would. Yeah, like if I were picking between those two, I would easily do the Derby first. Yeah.
I've done a couple.
It's down the list. It's down the list for me.
I've done a NASCAR race. I did the Michigan 400.
Watkins Glen.
I've never done Watkins Glen.
I mean, that one's really easy.
I've been going to see drag racing. I love that. That was cool. That's
Drag
just
racing?
feels violent more than anything.
Right.
I got to cruise around in one of the funny cars. One of my dad's buddies when I was a little guy took me in. He had one of the stock funny cars. It was crazy. Sitting just on the metal sheet floor.
Yeah.
This car was lurching forward every time the engine turned over. It was wild.
Drag racing, huh?
I was into that, little guy.
803-0550 is our phone number if you want to pop in.
I will not be going to the World Cup because tickets are astronomical.
For
years I've been like, World Cup's coming. I'm gonna go to a World Cup. I've never been to a World Cup game. This is gonna be my opportunity. And like, Toronto, not far. That's not an ideal stadium to go see it in. Like, it's just kind of a small soccer field that they added some cheap bleachers on the sides for. And it's like, okay, I could go there. Iraq versus Ivory Coast, $700. What?
Yeah.
And if I want to see anybody you care about, now I'm into the thousands. Just like, it's so highly priced that it's like, I don't think, like, it's just out. It's out as a watch. And any Team USA game, obviously, is going to be like, a year's salary at this point. It's like ridiculous.
We do know the dates on that. That's something that fills the summer pretty well, right?
The World Cup?
Yeah.
Well, and there are more teams now, so does that mean the tournament goes longer, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I don't know if the new format has kind of confused things. It has for me.
Yeah.
But the first U.S. game is June 12th at 9 p.m., by the way.
And the tournament begins, I think, on June 11th.
Yep.
I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, Mexico, South Africa, the first game.
Okay. And it runs through to, when's the final?
Probably like right before July 4th or right around there. It's usually about a month, like July 8th, July 9th?
No, past that.
Oh, because of the expanded tournament, okay.
The final will be on Sunday, July 19th.
Really?
Yeah, we're going into mid-July.
All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
I believe the final is Sunday, July 19th.
Okay.
Is what I'm seeing.
Take us right to training camp.
At MetLife. Yeah. A 3 o'clock Sunday.
And natural grass.
That's more than a month.
And natural grass for all these games.
Which has NFL players very upset because they're willing to do it for FIFA, I guess, and not for their guys.
All these stadiums that have turf.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll roll out regular grass for you.
Yep.
Anyway, 803-0550, 1-888-550-2550. A little bit of off-season mode, a little bit of nice weather mode, and waiting for the Sabres to, I guess, make some sort of moves. You do sometimes get trades in the Stanley Cup Final. During that, there have been trades. It's usually not happening all that often, but it does.
The league encourages teams not to do it or try not to do it, to not steal the spotlight, I guess. You get rumors a lot during these weeks.
I told you I had a Vegas take that it's too hot for 6 a.m. I think I can make it at 6:41.
Okay.
Ready?
I'm ready.
It's not different than the last 3 years of the Vegas take. It's just kind of asking if there are more people that feel comfortable getting there. Okay? And it's just this. As Vegas sits here one game away from the Cup final again. Mm-hmm. I'm not telling you to root for them. I'm not telling you to root against them. But now that we, River Hockey, now that we are in a better place in our lives, are we more comfortable saying we were the problem? Not like fans, but the Sabres, of course, were the problem for you-know-who. And now that we're healthy, we're in a healthy relationship again, can we look back and say, it's definitely, it wasn't his fault? Are more people able to healthily do that?
I think.
Look at who the GM was. Look at who the coaches were. Look at who the supporting cast was. Look at what's happened with Mitch Marner. Look what happens. What's the whole idea? Get as many good players as possible. If you have good players and you can't surround that good player with any other good players, and you're kind of like a laughingstock franchise, and now we're not anymore, right? This isn't we're still in year 15. Woe is us. It's we're Batman crawled, or Batman, right? Yeah, Christian Bale. He crawled out of the pit. We made it out. Mm-hmm. We can look back and be like, all right. Fine, I'll admit it was definitely we were the problem. Not fans, not us. The organization was the problem, of course.
How many people really think that he himself was the problem?
Lots.
I think more than
lots.
I
Still
just can't.
think.
I don't understand how you even
I
can
know
get there on that.
That's kind of the question here. It's if you were one of the holdouts, you're like, fine, I'm still gonna boo him. Hey,
Fine.
we're there.
I think that's fine. You could not like him and still think that it wasn't his fault.
Are you kind of getting to what percentage of people that don't like Eichel are because they blame him for it going poorly here, and what percentage are because of the way he acted the first time he came back?
That might be that.
Yeah.
That might be that.
Because if that is where you're at, I don't know what has to happen for you to get over that. Like, you might just never do it.
Sure. And you certainly don't have to.
It also could just be bitterness of... And this is not where the Sabres are at yet. I mean, we hope they're there, and I know they are doing so much better than they were. But why did you want him in the first place? Why did you want to take? Because he was a center that was good enough that you could win the cup with him being your number one center. And if he wins a second cup, I don't know that helps any bitterness towards... That was supposed to happen here. That's why I'm mad about it.
That's probably right. Then the bitterness is just shifted to like the GM of the Seattle Kraken, where I pretty much maintain it all the time.
Right. Right. Like, I went through and endured the tank season because I thought this guy was going to win Stanley Cups.
You're right.
You didn't exist yet over there. You didn't have to go through all of that. And he gets to, and he does it. He does the thing that was the original theory in the first place. He's going to win a cup. Now he's going to win a second cup. But you get to enjoy the fruits of that labor when you didn't even exist the time of
to that
he was
point,
drafted.
Remove him from it. Vegas, who has been docked a second-round pick and fined $100,000 for not having Tortorella meet with the media. They consistently skirt the rules on long-term injured reserve, right? Like, Vegas to me is a good villain.
They are a villain.
But also at the same time, this goes back to the expansion draft itself. They showed up and showed that the league is actually so complacent and such a bunch of slow burners in this league.
Oh, yeah.
Where, I'm sorry, we don't need any of these draft picks. We're just going to continue to get your players, and we'll just keep giving you picks and prospects, and we'll just be good the whole time.
Right.
Vegas, to me, they're a little bit like, I don't know.
They're kind of the Yankees. Aren't they? Like, they don't have any homegrown anything.
No.
They are the ultimate. I don't need to do any of that. I don't need to draft players. I'm just going to take your best players.
Right. That's
their whole roster.
Thomas Hurdle, Noah Hannafin, Marner, Stone, Carlson, everybody.
Pietrangelo was their number one defenseman, wasn't he, when they won the Cup?
They're going to get everybody from you, and they're not going to bother growing a farm team. They don't care.
Right.
And I was thinking about a comparison. This one's probably clumsy. All my comparisons are probably clumsy, but Vegas is like when you're in the poker universe and the online poker craze hits, people thought the online poker players are never going to know how to play real poker. And then what did they do? Well, they definitely could. Vegas showed up and the league thought, oh, you've got to pay your dues here. You've got to, I'm sorry, no, we don't. We're just going to be we're just going to be better at this than you. Yeah,
they've existed for a decade now, and I'm looking at their draft history. They never had a first round pick play for them.
That's a great
their
question.
own first round pick.
Krebs? Did Krebs play for them?
Krebs played 10 games maybe for them. It hasn't really happened. We're talking about less than a full season, maybe ever. Their whole roster is we are bought and paid for. We're just going to go get your best guy. Hannafin last year was the same thing. They didn't even have the room for him. That's why they're also a villain, by the way, because they are usually they're ultra aggressive LTIR cap gymnastics team historically.
Are they going to go get Hellebuck because you want him?
No, right? They don't even need him.
And they might just get him anyway?
We'll find a way to make that work. We don't even need him. We don't even have the cap for him. We'll find a way to get that guy in here. And sometimes, this is another reason why they become a villain, is they have no loyalty, right? The Fleury thing is probably top of the list for that, but there are other examples of guys that have done a lot for them and accomplished a lot for them that they will just discard, coldly, whenever. And, I do sometimes want my team to act like that, so I don't know.
You might see that this offseason.
It's not all about Eichel, I think. It would also be that franchise only existing for as long as they have and how they exist.
Yeah.
They are kind of the perfect type of villain for a sports fan of another team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. And they're about to play Carolina or Montreal. It's going to be tough to take.
I think I'm going to have to root for them.
Unless they blow it. 803-0550 is our phone number, and 1-888-550-2550. They really lost in Game 7 of overtime, huh?
They did. Yes, they did.
Still dealing with that. Still handling that.
We could have been talking about Game 4.
Game 3 would have been last night at home.
Yeah.
A Memorial Day, 8 p.m. hockey game would have been, last night's temperatures would have been pretty nice. Will I ever go back and watch Game 7? No. I've gone back and watched playoff losses before. Like,
I've never watched Game 7 against Carolina.
Yeah.
I could get to, this one.
Or even just watch overtime.
Yeah, I might want to do that. I might want to watch all of overtime again. Yeah.
Or the third period. Carolina's up 2-1. Montreal lost at home last night in overtime. Jeremy and Joe, Bills OTAs rolling today. Jim Leonard to speak with the media. The Sabres we're about to have an offseason where they are in on every single rumor. Mm-hmm. We are about to have a Brandon Bean. They were in on that offseason for the Sabres. Mm-hmm. The Bills are in on everything, right? Max Crosby, they made a call on this guy, and I've already seen 15 different Sabres reports like, could Edmonton be a landing spot for Yuri Kulik and Devin Levi? And I think, who are they getting from Edmonton? I don't know. But they're in on every rumor. They're going to be on absolutely every single rumor page, and that's kind of a good life.
They exist.
Because they exist. We can think about it. Whether it's Alex Tuck and the latest on what that might be. I've seen some reports about a number there and some term there, and I think we're all kind of getting ourselves, I shouldn't say all, lots are maybe migrating to maybe this shouldn't happen. Feels like the gas gauge is going that way a little bit on the Tuck idea. And that opens up flexibility to do other things. So, whatever. I'm in for the rumors. I'm in for all the reports of what might happen because it's exciting.
Well, I think the reason Hellebuck is getting thrown in there, and maybe there should be a rumor about some guy that could come in and like really help their power play as well. Because if I look at the Sabres right now objectively, and I think, all right, if they wanted to be aggressive in improving something for next year, where would you attack? Because they have arguably the best top four in hockey on the blue line. So, like, I could get to my third pair, but how much do guys that play 11 minutes a night move the meter anyway when I get to these big games? The top four guys are going to be the ones that are really playing. The forward group is as deep as anybody in hockey, and I've got all this youth coming in that should even help that along even further. So, again, I could point to the power play, but the only other thing I can look at is basically to say, like, about, their goaltending right now is the same as these other four teams left, which is it's a coin flip. Well, okay, if I don't really have anything else to get substantially better at, let me make that better than a coin flip. I think I'm a great team that can win. If I think I can win the Stanley Cup with the forwards and defensemen that I currently have, which I think they could. I think that is in there. There is a Stanley Cup winner in those four lines and those defense pairings. Then let me make that a 75% chance that my goalies are going to hold up rather than, well, my team's great, let me flip a coin to see if I'm going to get eliminated in the series because I have no idea if my goalies are going to be good or bad.
Does your dream Sabres offseason include the biggest acquisition/addition to the team being a new proven goaltender? Figured that was the easiest way to ask.
I think it's a good way to put it.
What you're saying is like your ideal offseason is it's one guy, right?
Yep.
It's Hellebuck.
It's because, there's nobody else that I've heard the name of being available that screams to me that's more of a sure thing than what you've already got. Like, I was just looking in the break at the Daily Faceoff has a trade bait board for the offseason.
All right.
And the goalies on that board are Jordan Binnington.
No thanks.
No thank you.
It'd be a conflict of like emotion there.
That too. Well, and also, I don't think he's any better as an idea than what you've got.
Isn't he a big game goalie though?
If you were worried about Hellebuck going down a peg last year, take a peek at
worse.
Binnington's numbers. He was like down with Bobrovsky at the bottom of the league.
Right. Linus Ullmark is on this list.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sam Montembeault is on this list, who is just the third goalie in Montreal.
Yeah, they're trying to jettison him out of there.
Philip Gustafsson, who I think is a good goalie but needs hip surgery.
Correct.
So that's a risk. Stolarz in Toronto, no. Aiden Hill in Vegas. Like, again, like the rest of these names are just guys that you would equate to what you've already got at best.
Exactly.
By the way, their tier 4 is Luukkonen, Lyon, Ellis, and Levi.
The full tier
Sabres
4.
roster.
They just listed the 4 Sabres goalies under tier 4. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We're just assuming like someone's got to get traded
I'll
because
trade you these 4 goalies. You trade me. Imagine that.
Right.
4 for 1.
The trade of a lifetime. The Sabres have packaged 4 goalies to 803.
Yeah, like Hellebuck's the only one I see that like that's a clear and obvious upgrade.
Where the name-
unless there's a guy that's becomes available that doesn't seem like he is right now.
All right, we're in and out because we're late talking about the Vegas Golden Knights first-round picks, or lack thereof. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll get a break in. We'll come back. Sorry we're so late. We got to be better about this. Yeah. Sal Capaccio a little bit later this morning, OTAs for the Bills. Spent some time talking about their defensive expectations. Maybe dig into that a little bit more with you coming up here on WGR.
The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. Sal will also be joining Jeremy and Joe later this morning. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado with a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. And in the Western Conference, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
And Proctor will just dribble it out. Chance of let's go Knicks. It's over. Believe it, Knick fans, for the first time in 27 years, the New York Knicks are going to the NBA Finals. The dream season continues, and hopes of ending a decades-long championship drought are very much alive.
Knicks play either the Spurs or the Thunder. That series goes 2-2 right now.
Mike Breen's going to have a job to do to not sound too biased, right? Because he's the Knicks home broadcaster, but also does the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. He's a professional. I'm sure he'll be fine.
He's great. He's great.
He's awesome.
Everybody, hope you had a good long weekend. Jeremy and Joe. It's nice out today. It looks like it's going to be nice out for the foreseeable future. Maybe a little rain tomorrow, but 78 today. Mm-hmm. 70s and 60s. We made it.
Speaking of NBA, by the way, really quickly, are you avoiding these Spurs Thunder games because you just can't simply watch OKC right now? It's getting worse. The flopping stuff. It's getting worse.
It's tough. It is tough.
Bad.
It is tough.
It's so unwatchable and bad. Well, it's not unwatchable because of the alien on the other side that's doing crazy things. But
I guess a question I could ask you about. All right, so Oklahoma City is being talked about as flopping all the time. The Montreal Canadiens are being accused of flopping all the time.
Dobish last night flying into his own net.
Flew into his own
stick, almost went into like the crowd.
Right, like you've got some embellishments as a feature now.
Yeah,
right.
Embellishment in basketball not that rare. I mean, soccer, it's like the narrative, right? Like it happens there. But hockey prides itself, I thought, on like, well, we're not soccer, throwing ourselves around on the ground. And it's not just Montreal. I mean, Carolina in game 1 or game 2 had a horrible embellishment on their end. Lindy said during round 2, like, it's the playoffs. Guys are going to try to do that to draw penalties because how important power plays are. I'm like, what happened to my hockey? Did in the Sabres 14 years that they left the postseason, did that start happening? Have I just been missing that? I've been watching the playoffs. When did embellishment become like a thing in the NHL? Because it's happening all throughout the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Right, NBA, it's not that new. I mean, the Thunder are taking it to extreme levels. But hockey was, I thought, supposed to be the sport where we're too prideful to do all that. And like they're throwing themselves around, and it definitely starts with Montreal's goaltender.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's bad.
Football doesn't have that much. It's only quarterbacks for the most part when they get hit.
Allen gets that criticism a lot.
He gets theatrical, I think, for sure.
Does he get more of it than anybody else in the league? No, Mahomes gets a lot of it.
Sure, yeah.
Mahomes gets a lot.
Who gets accused of it the most?
Mahomes gets touched near the sideline. It's he throws himself to the ground. Yeah, is it those two?
Maybe
more than anybody.
They might just have more eyes on them. I'm not sure if there's any one guy that does it more than anybody else.
But we all can admit, though, that Allen definitely flops.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. He
definitely flops.
Looks for calls. Yes. I think that's right.
Yeah.
There's no penalty for embellishment, so I don't know why you wouldn't.
Right, in football there isn't.
There is no penalty for diving.
So are we just good to accept that it occurs everywhere?
I think so.
Just don't be like embarrassing with it.
But it's definitely a feature of the conference finals in both these sports, the NBA and the NHL, where you're talking about flopping and embellishment. And
I mean, the NBA guys are going into like the stats on how often SGA falls to the floor after shots versus other guys.
Twice as often as anybody else. He's on the ground after a shot.
We have the numbers on it.
Yeah.
Like they're getting really deep in it in the NBA. I don't think we have analytics on Dobish flopping yet. but maybe we'll get there.
Yeah.
Maybe the Sabres just need to flop a couple more times. And they would have been
Did they? Who was the most guilty on the Sabres of it? Because Martin St. Louis said the Sabres were doing it too.
Didn't Hage do it once where he got hit like on the shoulder and kind of threw his head back?
Oh, it was
was
Doan. Doan got a high stick up top, and they thought that was a bit of a
because it hit him in the visor.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Was there a Dahlin one maybe somewhere along the way? I don't know. I don't feel like they were doing it. I don't think of. I mean, I think of the Hudson play where Norris touched him with his stick and he dove into a pool.
Yeah.
But I don't think of the Sabres doing anything that was like that bad on their end of things.
Yeah.
The Knicks don't do it, I guess.
I guess not.
So root for them.
I'll root for them. Sure.
I think I'll root for the Spurs if they make it.
For Wembanyama. I was watching when he hit his latest half-court shot.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive.
I think I want to see him become the greatest athlete I've ever seen in my life. And I think he has that capability. I think there's a chance that when my life is over someday that I'll look back and say that's the greatest thing I've ever seen in sports.
Is Wembanyama?
And I want to see that. I think I want to see that happen.
Okay,
the Knicks would be a cool story, but
who's the leader in the clubhouse? Is it LeBron?
I think
if you're saying great, you're going cross sports.
Probably
like the person someone says who's the greatest you ever saw play anything of any kind.
Yeah,
you're going to say LeBron.
I think I'm probably going to say LeBron because I don't want to say Brady, and I don't think I would say Brady anyway. I think I would say LeBron. Why? Who would you say?
I don't know. Like just the greatest you've ever seen.
What's the greatest you
This is
ever
not
saw?
about. This is not rings culture.
No.
This is just who's the best you ever watched.
Yeah. In anything.
I mean, Allen. There's a good case for Allen. There's a really good case for him. Because we don't.
Yeah, I think there is.
If we don't have to get caught up in rings culture, where the only thing that matters is if you want a ring.
Yes.
Then it opens it up to everybody. And I mean, there's who was the best. There's who was the best. Who was more better. Sure. Who was far and away better than the next best guy.
Right.
There's that, the gap between quarterbacks or goaltenders. Like Hasek is an easy answer here for a lot of people, right? He's the best
I
there
think
ever was.
I think if I had seen Hasek, I might be saying his name right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw him, but it was at the
then
end.
There's the guy that played for your team. Then there's the whatever. Is it dominance like Federer or Tiger Woods is an answer?
Ooh.
Right? Like you're talking if you're going athletic accomplishments
I might have to say
versus
Tiger.
The best at what they did. Like Tiger's easily an answer. Then there's this, who's the most fun I had watching? Steph Curry is my answer.
Yeah.
No one made me look to the television more than him. So, without trying to make a case who is the greatest, I don't want to get, caught up in that. You're talking about You're talking about Wembanyama being
just
the kind of player where it's like I can't look away.
Exactly.
Because he's incredible.
He's 7'8", and he's hitting half-court threes. Earlier in game one, he hit one that wasn't that far closer to tie a game at the end of overtime. And he's 22?
Yeah.
Like, if he wins this series, just for the NBA, when did Jordan and LeBron make it to the finals for the first time? Weren't they like in their late 20s? Were they 30 even? Like, they didn't make it this quick. But he's a body type that hasn't existed before. Which is why that uniqueness makes me think that he could be that answer. He could be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And like there would be, maybe Tiger would have to be my answer, but there would be candidates. I feel like he has that potential. And I want to see that happen. I'm good now with one guy dominating a sport. I mean, not in maybe the sport that I have a team in, because then that gets annoying.
Right, because Wembanyama's not in your way. Mahomes,
exactly. If I had a team in the NBA and he was in the way, then I think it would get old quick.
Yeah. Mahomes was this for a good solid 3-4 years, and it just doesn't look like that anymore. Right? It doesn't look like that anymore. You can't be
it doesn't look like he'll rule the sport. It's actually been more frustrating that they have been winning because it hasn't looked as impressive.
Right.
Right?
And like their scoring offense is not the same. Like Mahomes has the rings, of course.
Right.
But he has not looked the same level of dominant for about 2 to 3 years.
When he entered the league, he was getting Steph Curry comparisons. Like, look how fun this is to watch. He's throwing the ball all over the field. He's putting up 50 touchdowns, and he's running all over. And then didn't their offense kind of do the thing that even the Bills' offense did to a degree, which is they just became safer and more conservative and careful. And, now he's playing like a winning, so you can't really call him that.
Yeah.
Even though that kind of is the job now. I kind of hate that in football. Like, this development of running the ball more across the league has kind of neutered Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes, hasn't it? They're all playing in a more careful, conservative offense. None of them throw to anybody that's really all that impressive anymore. And they still win. They're still great. They're definitely great, but in terms of how fun it is to watch, they were all more fun to watch when they entered the league. And is that just the way that it goes? Is that just the sign of the times? Just guys are more fun to watch when they first get there? Because I would say all three of them aren't as fun to watch as they were 5 years ago. Right?
Yeah, you might. Well, I mean, Allen, because he runs so effectively.
And all his
the stuff he
passes
does.
are screen passes.
Right. There's a lot of.
He throws the ball at the line of scrimmage 90% of the time now.
There's a lot of that.
So his runs are still fun, but he's not slinging the ball over top of defense. And I would say that about the other two as well. They're not just throwing these haymakers down the field. They're throwing it at the line of scrimmage, or their team is running, or in Allen or Lamar's case, they're running it themselves.
Yeah. I saw there was a graphic about Allen and their EPA on passes that are short versus EPA on passes that are long. Yeah. And we all remember that version of Josh where ripping it down the field was really what he did, and he's become such an efficient short game passer. I don't know if Joe Brady's going to unleash that, or if DJ Moore is going to be able to do that by himself, right?
Allen's talking about that's like the thing he's been focusing on the most this offseason is
deep ball accuracy.
Is him getting better at throwing the ball deep, and he has some poor numbers on that. I've always wanted to just explain that away, though, that his job on those passes is harder than most because he doesn't have – he has to throw a perfect pass. Every time he has thrown the ball down the field in the last 2 years – it's felt like he has to throw a perfect pass. When they played the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game, remember the touchdown he threw at the end of the first half?
Mac Allen's a perfect pass.
It was a downfield touchdown, and if he missed the pass by half a yard, it would have been incomplete. It had to be absolutely perfect, right? Because Mac Hollins is the guy.
Right, he didn't have separation, but he made the play.
Right.
Made the catch. Tough catch.
I'm not saying they're all the receiver's faults. I'm sure there are plays that Allen's seen on film where he's like, I missed that one, and that guy was there. And there have been a couple of those, but
he hit Cooks this year.
I just think his job has been so hard for that.
Yeah, he was plenty accurate on the Cooks throws, and Cooks had a couple of drops.
That's true, right? And I think they will be better at it this year. Like, as much as Moore is not maybe as good as he was 4 years ago, he's such an upgrade over what they've had. And I would be hopeful that he alone, plus Allen hopefully getting a little bit better at that stuff, that they will not be so reliant on, hey, it's 3rd and 8. I got to throw a screen to Shakir because that's my best play.
Yeah.
That's really where I want them to end up. Be confident enough in your downfield passing that when it's 3rd and long, you're not trying to set up 4th and short. That's where I want them to end up. And I think Moore should help them with that.
Would you take the offense they had last year with a better defense? With the idea that I shouldn't even say I'm not promising you the better defense. You're hoping to get it. Would you take the offense they had last year? Or the year before? Because it's the same offensive coordinator. Like, how much of what the Bills are going to change, you out there, 803-0550, how much of what Joe Brady does do you want to be different? You're mentioning the screen passes. I think a lot of people would sign up for, let's
just be less reliant
sprinkle those in, but maybe not in spots where it's 3rd and 10, 2nd and 10.
Yep.
Like the AFC Championship game, it's 3rd and 10. They're throwing a screen pass because they're trying to set up a 4th and 5, which ultimately,
Right.
How much of it would you just take, run it back, James Cook, rushing leader, these receivers? I think the answer to that question is you could definitely get away with the same offense and be just as good. And if you're going to get into the playoffs and get into that moment against Denver or against Cincinnati, is the difference that DJ Moore and I guess to a far lesser extent, Skylar Bell can be a role player like Curtis Samuel tried to be, right? And Coleman is pushed kind of out of the starting lineup. I hope I get Kincaid healthy. If I just have last year's offense, pretty much run it back with DJ Moore in Josh Palmer's spot and a healthy Dalton Kincaid, How good do I feel about my season? I think you have to feel probably really, really good about it.
To me, though, that is better than your offense from last year.
Right.
Right? Like,
Because you did not have a healthy Kincaid.
I feel like if I have the same offense from last year, DJ Moore didn't work. Or Kincaid is still managing injuries and not on the field all the time. Like, to me, those two, if you told me those two get unlocked this year, they're better than they were last year. They are, and you could look at EPA per play, you could look at any of their numbers, it still show that they're one of the best offenses in football. But with Josh Allen, they're always capable of being the best offense in football. So for me, like, I almost would never sign up for anything that isn't, am I the best offense in football? Because do I think I have the best quarterback in football? Then all I got to do is have the rest of the offense live up to his standard. If you think he's the best quarterback in football, I don't think I ever want to sign up for third. Not good enough. Fourth. Not like I should be number one. I have the best guy. Or do we not think I have the best guy? Because if we do, then I think number one is what you should be settling for. And I think if Moore is a 1,000-yard guy that opens them up down the field and makes teams have to pay attention to the perimeter more often instead of daring you to go there, and Kincaid can give you any level of the efficiency he's given you, but do it more often than, would I just get 49 targets? Can I get him to be an 80, 90 target weapon that teams are afraid of? If I get those two things to work and everything else remains the same, I think I'm the best. I think I'm the best offense in football.
You'd hope to be.
Because
can New England? One thing I would wonder is, like, can New England
can they raise the
ascend?
bar?
Right. I mean, like, year 3 of Drake May, not quite. I mean, year 2 felt like year 1, but year 3 of Drake May, this is where he's gonna maybe take another step. Maybe A.J. Brown. They upgraded the A.J. Brown, Romeo Dobbs. Like, he'll have a good group of receivers there if A.J. Brown goes there in the next 6 days, which everyone seems to expect will happen.
I mean, he should have a better infrastructure around him than he did last year, right? Like, May was on a team that couldn't run the ball, that had decent receivers, didn't have a great offensive line, and he still made it work in the regular season. Right? He was bad in the playoffs, but he made it work in the regular season. I don't know how much better their line got. I don't know how much better they'll be able to run it, but they certainly have better pass catchers for him. Like, if Brown indeed is going there. Because if I'm going from older Diggs that can really only play all the time in the slot.
Right, he's not even. I'm going to use the same measure I use for the Bills. Diggs not on a team right now.
Right.
Like, that was probably legal troubles at the beginning, but
yeah, they were probably
he
waiting
could
for
just
that.
like if he could play and people thought they could get good value, he'd be on a team now.
Right. Versus I'm going now to a guy in A.J. Brown that's a big X that wins down the field, which Drake May is amazing at, and Brown can play any spot on the field, and Dobbs is a good player. Like, they just get better. So yeah, better than New England would be a good start. I just feel like the Bills, if they get Moore and Kincaid to work, unless the run game takes a giant step back, why shouldn't they be the number one offense in football? Well, the line's great, if the run game's great, and Allen's great, and my only problem has been pass catchers, man coverage, down the field, and if I'm getting answers on those, I've got everything.
What's number one, though? Like, number one offense in football, is that by points? Flat out just points? Because game script could, of course, be in there.
You could really do. I mean, you could do that.
You could do it 1,000.
You could do that EPA per play,
DVOA,
success rate. You could do it on
1,000
what
ways.
happens at the end of the season.
Right.
You could just do it that way, which is I had a drive where a field goal wins the game, and I threw an interception, even though it was really a catch. But you can go before that, 3rd and 11, right?
Yep.
Before that, but don't even count the Cooks play. My offense had the ball, field goal. The defense gave it to him. Here you go. A field goal to win the game in overtime. You had one of the best offenses in football that year, right? And you got to a place where you were 3rd and 11 at your own 36. It wasn't going great. You at least weren't likely to go down and score before that play. So just that's another way you could do it. Just what happened at the end of the season? No, I didn't score when I only needed 3? Okay, that's not number one.
8030550. The NFL 18-game season, Mike Florio, Pro Football Talk, cites a source familiar with the situation, says 18 games is highly unlikely for the 2027-28 season, which would be not this coming season, but the following season, right? But still not impossible. I mean, they want another game because, of course, like every game generates a lot of money. Another game for all the streaming networks, another game for the television networks.
Yeah.
It is the kind of thing where I don't ever hear anybody thinking another game is a good idea. Like, what for? Right? What for? To just, sure, to make more money. I know the whole league exists to make money.
Yeah.
A player safety is a thing. Whatever. Like, I don't know what the concession ends up being. Everybody wants more money. I wonder if the players get to a point where they're like, I mean, they're fighting against an 18th game, of course. Right. Are they going to be paid 1/17th more to do it, 1/18th more? Nah.
I mean, everyone will watch it.
Yeah, I mean, if it's
it.
on the schedule, you're going to watch it. I don't think there's any disputing that. It is.
That has long been actually, was that one of the NFL people maybe answered a question about that? I don't think it was Goodell, though. Maybe it was Goodell. One of the NFL higher-ups had a question to him earlier this season about expanding to 18 games and, like, opening up all these different days of the week. And it was basically, like, our ratings never drop. Why would we stop? Like, we have no evidence that we're oversaturated.
Right.
And until we see evidence that we're oversaturated, we're going to keep going up.
Right, there's no dilution of the product.
Basically, until you stop, we've got you on the hook. Basically, until you stop watching it, then we're just gonna keep going. So if they add an 18th game and we all go, this is too much, so I'm not going to watch 1 week, then what will they do? They'll probably stop expanding.
Let's get stupid. 23 games? Are you watching all of them?
That's a good question. At what point does it? At what point would your interest be watered down? Because for me, it wouldn't be 18.
No, it wouldn't be 18. That said,
23
That
maybe.
said, yeah, right. Like, it's the illusion of more interest. Are you more interested than you were when there were 16 games? No.
No, it would be maybe about the same.
There's
I
just
get
an additional game, and
I get 2 more Bills games, 2 more Sunday Night Football games to watch, 2 more weeks of playing fantasy football.
Right.
Like I'm not really complaining about that. Like if I get 2 more weeks of all of that. So I mean, for the players, it stinks.
I guess I'm also not complaining if I don't get that. It's the kind of thing where
it just doesn't really.
Sure, if it's like a buffet. Sure, I can go get one more chicken nugget. I don't actually need one, and if I don't have another one, I won't notice.
Right.
But I guess I'll go eat another one, chicken tender. I don't know if that was the right.
I guess your question would be
the right food. Would you like another scoop of ice cream?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm in an all-inclusive. Sure. Throw it on the plate. If I don't have it, I won't notice.
Right.
But if it's there,
I guess your question is: do you feel like the season goes by too quick?
No.
Then you shouldn't care if they add extra games.
No, I don't. I would say they probably shouldn't. And again, it's highly unlikely for this next season. Florio continues. Some see the expansion as an inevitability. One would imagine the NFL will have an 18-game season implemented by the 2031-32. That's the first season that's not covered under the current CBA. So they could, when they're doing another CBA in the future, they'll, and again, if they make concessions or who knows what they have to do to get that 18th game. I don't feel the need for it. I don't have a hard take on any of it. It's just they're going to do it.
They're definitely going to do it eventually.
Here's what I would say. The only thing I actually really want is the offseason to be shorter because I want the next season to come along. So, what could they really give me? Shorten it by having another game? What are we starting on Labor Day instead of the week after Labor Day? Going deeper into February?
We would, I think, 2 weeks, right? Because you would add a bye week.
Probably.
You would do a second bye week, and you would add a game. So wouldn't that line up Labor Day to President's Day?
Might.
President's Day Monday would be the day after the Super Bowl?
Might. I don't know, depending on the calendar. The calendar every year, probably. Someone could do the math on that. Sounds right.
Yeah.
803-0550. We'll check in with Sal. He's got his State of the Franchise stuff still going on our website, WGR550.com. He's got linebacker edge up, and he'll be down at One Bills Drive today. They have OTAs again, and Jim Leonard, Bills defensive coordinator Jim Leonard, speaks with the media. So we'll hear what he has to say on how things are coming along. Jeremy and Joe here on WGR.
For more comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Gorfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
give Belknap a ring.
Can that be done in the regular season, though? I don't think the Bills are too far along for me to be hearing victory laps about why they made their coaching change. If they're 6-1 in the regular season, they're always great in the regular season.
That's right. I'll give you one thing that could happen in the regular season that would be chalked up to McDermott's gone. They don't lose back-to-back games. Every year, the last couple of years, they would have, remember, the lull. They would lose back-to-back to Miami and Atlanta or whoever it was. Like, you'd have this mid-season because I can remember this. Maybe it was Miami and Houston this year. There's a time where they lose back-to-back games.
Yeah, they lost to New England and Atlanta.
Okay,
back-to-back.
And every year they lose these games, and we would say, don't worry, they did that last year. Don't worry, they did that the year before. And every single year we'd kind of talk ourselves into, well, this is normal for them.
Right.
Now, what kind of standard is that, though?
The standard, right? Like I'm looking, they never lost more than 2 games in a row.
Right.
Like the lulls was they lost a back-to-back game one time during a season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And that would sometimes cost them the 1 seed, and
right. That's right.
Do we think that that's one of the reasons? So yeah, as we're looking for things that will make McDermott different, I don't know if Josh starts throwing the ball.
You already said it.
What?
1 seed.
One
seed. Like that's a thing they have not done. Yeah. That if they did it this year, for whatever the reason is, I think that would be like, well, that's the thing McDermott couldn't do. Brady pushed the right buttons, 2 buttons he pushed that were right when he needed to, and now that's the difference, and that's why they're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like that could definitely be sold.
To me, the number one thing that if I see a difference, the number one thing that I'll see would be their passing numbers go back up. If they're throwing the ball more often.
Yep.
That's something that they stopped doing. When Brady got the job, they started to run the ball more, and they did it very well. So, you could make the case, of course, they should keep doing that. Now, this offseason, the trade of DJ Moore, and like I was reading something in fantasy football talking about like vacated targets and the idea of vacated targets, and whoever it was pointing out that when Diggs left, those weren't vacated targets, they were eliminated targets. They threw way less. Almost the number of targets that he got in a season, there were that many fewer passes.
Yeah, they became run plays.
Right. So not even vacated targets, just like non-targets. And I don't know, is DJ Moore coming back or coming here going to get Joe Brady to a spot where they're not going to be run heavy like they have been? Was he only run heavy because Sean McDermott thought the best way to beat this team is to be two-dimensional and blah, blah, on and on and on and on? Like, we don't know Joe Brady outside of Sean McDermott, and if you're looking for things that might look different, to me, that's what I would look for.
The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. Jim Leonard scheduled to speak with the media later today. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com, where he's also continuing his State of the Bills series. Sal will be joining Jeremy and Joe. Coming up next, the Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1, and Montreal has had less than 15 shots in both of those games. In the Western Conference, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado after a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, The Athletic's Joseph Person said Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season. Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after his surgery last season as well. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. And in the Western Conference Final, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. The Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
Bills back at OTAs. Jim Leonard will meet with the media today, and our own Sal Capaccio will be there later today. He joins us on the Western Hotline as we continue gearing up for the Bills offseason and talking about the state of the team. Sal, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, not bad, you know. We gave Mike Shope full credit for his theory that it's always nice on Memorial Day, how it lived up to it yet again.
Oh, yeah. Mike and I have talked about this in the past. Agreed. It's amazing. And we were texting about it yesterday. It's crazy that we didn't start off that way. I think a couple of years ago we finally had a down one, but it's like very few far in between. And to be honest, and the crazy part is for many years, the Jim Kelly golf tournament was the Monday after Memorial Day. And it was always bad weather, like rainy and cold. That's been moved, by the way, to August. So it was always the weirdest thing. Memorial Day, great weather. Then the following Monday, like in June, not great weather. But this year, it was awesome. We have a great week of dry weather, which is great because we've had too much rain. As you know, Jeremy, at Show, and you're now a coach, right? And rain outs and things like that. Now, I think we're going to play a lot of we have a lot of baseball on the plate this week. I'll say that.
Yeah. Hopefully everything's dried out well enough. And again, this week should help. Sal, the Bills are back to work this week, OTAs, and we're going to hear from Jim Leonard today, correct?
Yeah, that's the plan. Jim Leonard will speak to the media before practice. They'll be on the field. The team will be on the field a little before 1 p.m. I think Leonard speaks a little after noon.
So you've started your State of the Bills series, and you've shifted over to the defensive side of the ball, edge rusher, outside linebacker. And I feel like there are questions for Leonard today about that group and about how it might come together. Because would you say that of everything that they've got on that side of the ball, that this is the group that, I don't want to say boom or bust, but it feels like this group might make or break what this team can ultimately be?
Yeah, I think because of the new defense, this might be the one position where there's so much of a change in kind of the role and the fit, and people wondering, like, how – look, I mean, I understand, like, Ed Oliver, defensive tackle – but I think this is the one where what are you really asking these guys to do, and do you have the right parts, and who fits well, who doesn't, who's it a better scheme fit for, who's it not a better scheme fit for? And I think that's the proof is in the pudding what they did, guys. I mean, you think about it, and I wrote about this. Their top free agent acquisition was this position, and their top draft pick was this position. They spent their two biggest resources this offseason. Now, I understand they traded a second-round pick for DJ Moore, so that's fine. But I mean the most money on a free agent and their top draft choice on the same position, which is edge rusher, and in this defense, we can call it outside linebacker. I'm fine with calling it whatever you guys want,
Right.
but you can call it either in this defense, edge rusher or outside linebacker, but that's where they spent the majority of their resources this offseason.
And that's kind of what I mean about make or break, because there are other positions that have questions, but this one I feel like I could get to. It might be a group that really comes together and, given the change in defense, really flourishes, or it might be, I guess, the other side of that, which is it doesn't, as we're waiting to see what ultimately Jim Leonard's defense looks like.
I think that if it doesn't, it's probably because of the fit, not necessarily the players. I mean, we could argue, Greg Rousseau, and, well, he should be better than he is. I mean, he's been a good player. He hasn't been a double-digit sack guy. He had 7 last year, 8 the year before that, I believe it was. But Bradley Chubb has been very good in the league. We know that. We saw what Michael Hoyt did last year. TJ Parker is an early draft pick for this team. So, sure, I mean, maybe they don't have all the right, players, pieces, but I think it's more about fit. If we're talking towards the end of the year, if we're in the middle of the year going, man, they just don't have enough there, I think we're having a debate at that time whether it's the players or the scheme. You know what I mean? Like, do the players fit the scheme, or is it just the players aren't good enough? It's going to be a really interesting. Now, if everything hits and these guys are good fits and they're smashing and playing really well and getting to the quarterback and stopping the run better than they were last year, then we're all like, okay, this was better for the team to do. But if we're having questions about this position, I think we're having debates. Mm-hmm. You guys are going to be doing that on the radio about player versus scheme and fit, basically.
Right. And Hoyt could play into that too, right? Like, just if he can't stay healthy throughout the year, that could create a huge variable, right? Like, because if he has more injury problems and then a rookie's got to play more than you want or whatever, versus if he's just healthy and contributing a lot, like, that can make a big difference. And also, Sal, how much have we heard about the difference in what they're asked to do, not just like where they line up and, are they over the tackle? Are they further out wide? Are they standing up? But does it feel like maybe with Leonard that what's the way I want to put it? Like, the chains are off a little bit, like they could be a little bit more aggressive in going after the quarterback? Because that always seemed to be the reputation under Sean McDermott, was how important it was to be responsible and rush lanes, and maybe it wasn't as much make or break, just go get the quarterback at all costs.
Yeah, I think this weaves into the other linebacker position, which obviously I'll get to later in the week, but they will be more aggressive, I think, Joe. But I think your aggressiveness is going to come from different forms. It doesn't have to be from this particular spot. This particular spot is going to be asked to do a lot. Yes, they can go after the quarterback, but I think you're going to see, like, for example, Terrell Bernard blitzing more. And that's going to maybe leave a Greg Rousseau or a Bradley Chubb to be able to stay home and kind of, filter the run a little bit, or the rush lane or something. Yes, you could actually absolutely have these guys. I don't want to paint the picture that they're going to be stay-at-home outside linebackers. What I mean, though, is I think that this is going to be a defense where you don't know where guys are coming from, and where one person's coming from, maybe someone else isn't, and they'll be able to kind of play a different spot there. Sure, you can both get after the quarterback. You can blitz 2 guys, or you can have the edge rushers go and blitz somebody, have somebody stay home. I do think they'll be more aggressive, but I think the aggressiveness is going to come in the form of maybe the unknowing from the offense. Look, Sean McDermott's defense was based on knowing your assignment and doing your assignment really well. It also could be a little predictable because of where you line up and doing that, and that's fine. Like, because if you do it, it doesn't matter if you're predictable. If you do it well, it should be okay. And I think that was always the big, the big core principle of his defense, which is, hey, you might know where we're going to line up, but we're still going to be better, and we're going to do it the way we're supposed to do it and be very kind of fundamentally sound, right? I think in this defense is, you don't know where we're going to line up, and you kind of don't know what we're going to do after we line up, to be honest with you.
Right. At this position, you write about 7 different guys. How many do you feel like there will be a rotation? How many do you feel like reasonably there could be a rotation of? Like, are we talking 5 guys that would dress on game days and all get playing time? Do you think that's possible?
It's a great question, because I think you have to look at the entire defensive front and how many they want to keep. Now, haven't gotten there yet, but right now there are 7, and actually, I didn't include, and I should have. There's actually 8, because they did have a undrafted free agent. Cade Denoff is an undrafted free agent. So let's add him in there. So that's 8. And then if you actually look at the defensive tackle / defensive end, if we want to call him that now, which is more of a down lineman, there's 10. So there's 18 of those guys. Like, how many are actually going to be part of this rotation? How many are going to make the team? I think 5 sounds about right. You're looking at Rousseau, Chubb, TJ Parker, for sure they're on the team. I think Michael Hoyt's on the team, but the question is he on the team right away to start the year? Is he healthy enough? From what I saw last week at OTAs, and we'll see more today, like he's on track to maybe be ready to play. So let's just say he is. That's 4. Now it might come down to the guy they talk a lot about, Javon Solomon, versus a guy like Michael Dano, which is he's a 2-time Super Bowl champion, has a lot of experience. I mean, you're probably looking at a five guys at this position, but you could probably get yourself to 4 if you want to be a little more fat at other areas like defensive tackle.
Sal Capaccio joining us on the Worcester Hotline. Sal, what's next up? What position are you charting next?
Yeah, I'm going to look at the down linemen now, the defensive tackles and defensive ends. And I just think we have to retrain our brains, guys. We really do. We have to retrain all of our brains, and the fans do, and everybody, and how we talk about these positions. Again, because even I get caught up. Like, do you want me to call it edge rusher? Do you want me to call it outside linebacker? Do you want me to call it defensive tackle, defensive end? Because, for example, like what we all know as defensive end was the traditional Joey Bosa, Greg Rousseau, right? Those are defensive ends. In this defense, the Bills that's not defensive ends in this defense. In this defense, the defensive end is the guy that's lining up as the 4-eye technique, as the 5 technique, the guys that are outside on the tackles, outside the tackle, inside the tackle, but there's another guy outside of them. So that's going to be Landon Jackson, for example, right? That's going to be TJ Sanders. That's going to be Ed Oliver. They're going to be called defensive ends. I'm going to still call them defensive tackles because in my way of thinking, I think a defensive tackle is a guy that puts his hand on the ground and then he's interior because there's guys outside of him, if all that makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
And then practice, like I know we don't really get official injury stuff at this point, Sal, but is there anybody you're wondering about going into this week? Dawkins wasn't on the field, right? And I know he's not the only one, but aren't there a couple guys that are maybe there but aren't on the field?
There, but not on the field. Well, I believe
maybe Dawkins and Brown.
Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown.
Right.
I think I believe it was Matt Perino, my colleague who was at practice last week. I didn't see him. I believe he wrote, and I could be wrong, but it could have been somebody else. They saw them both like after practice, but they weren't on the field at all. We know that. Right. James Cook wasn't there. I'm not concerned about that. What I'm thinking about guys like, okay, I saw Josh Palmer rehabbing off to the side. Like, is there more to that? What's going on? Like, where is he right now? Christian Benford wasn't there. Not too concerned about that. I'm looking at what is the update and status right now on Dorian Strong, who wore a neck brace last week and wasn't on the field. He was on the field, but he's walking around wearing a neck brace. Is he? Is there any actual like chance of him playing and suiting up or anything like that? And then the guy that I think that I want to see out there and where this is going, it's interesting, is Dorian Williams, because he wasn't at the day that we were there last week, and yet I think that Caleb Elarm's Orr has a legitimate shot to try and win a spot next to Terrell Bernard on defense at linebacker. But I think Dorian Williams is right there, and like this might matter, like all these reps these guys are getting this offseason.
Elarm's Orr, for those that don't know, he was the 4th round pick, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Sal. Well, we'll be listening today, or waiting for Jim Leonard, and we'll chat tomorrow and hear what he has to say and recap it with you then.
All right, guys. You got it. Thanks.
Thanks, Sal. 803-0550 is the phone number if you want to chime in on anything. Bills back at OTAs today.
The lead article at NFL.com, 11 players in the league where it's a make-or-break season.
Yes, and I saw the picture is of 3 players.
Uh-huh. The first player talked about in the article is a Bill.
Yep. It's Keon Coleman. Also in the picture is C.J. Stroud. Okay. Yes. And then the third picture is George Pickens.
Yes.
It's a make-or-break year for George Pickens? What? I think he made it.
He's on the list.
I think he made it. Okay. I said it already 3 times.
Yeah,
listen, the Coleman. I think there's Keon Coleman discussion fatigue, and I understand why. I would love to hear the case of like, what is a make-it season for him?
For Keon?
Yeah, isn't it just like a role player who's on the team for 2 more years? Like, that's making it.
I think making it for him is just
being a guy. You would take him having a Gabe Davis here would be a dream come true for Coleman.
Someone that doesn't make headlines for an entire year negatively. That's it. I don't need him to do anything special. Right. Just don't have a story in November about how you were late. Don't have a story in December about how you fumbled in a bad spot in the game. Like, that's it. Just a non-controversial season.
Yeah.
I don't need him to do anything statistically that blows you away. But be a professional football player. That's it.
Yeah,
that would be make it, I think.
Play out your contract, do well, sign somewhere in 2 years. I mean, I just don't think there's much of an avenue to him to get to the top. But, I suppose it's possible. I never want to rule it out.
Other quick players that are on this make or break list, Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay.
You mentioned Stroud. Bryce Young, J.J. McCarthy, and Kyler Murray are both listed.
Okay.
Also, Deshaun Watson is listed on this list. And I don't know what make it looks like for Deshaun Watson at this point. I feel like that's over, but whatever.
803-0550. We're going to break in 1-888-550-2550. Hope you enjoyed your long weekend. We're back to it today. Jeremy and Joe here on WGR. Jeremy White here for Russell's Tree. Does your dream Sabres offseason include the biggest acquisition/addition to the team being a new proven goaltender? Figured that was the easiest way to ask.
I think it's a good way to put it.
What you're saying is like your ideal offseason is it's one guy, right?
Yep.
Tell about it.
It's because, like there's nobody else that I've heard the name of being available that screams to me that's more of a sure thing than what you've already got. Like, I was just looking in the break at the Daily Faceoff has a trade bait board for the offseason.
All right.
And the goalies on that board are Jordan Binnington.
No thanks.
No thank you.
It'd be a conflict of like emotion there.
That too. Well, and also, I don't think he's any better as an idea than what you've got.
Isn't he a big game goalie though?
If you were worried about Hellebuck going down a peg last year, take a peek
was
at
worse.
Binnington's numbers. He was like down with Bobrovsky at the bottom of the league.
Right. Linus Ullmark is on this list.
Okay.
Whoa.
Sam Montembeault is on this list, who is just the third goalie in Montreal.
Yeah, they're
right?
trying to jettison him out of there.
Philip Gustafsson, who I think is a good goalie but needs hip surgery.
Correct.
So that's a risk. Stolarz in Toronto, no. Aiden Hill in Vegas. Like the rest of these names are just guys that you would equate to what you've already got at best.
Exactly.
By the way, their tier 4 is Luukkonen, Lyon, Ellis, and Levi.
The full tier 4.
They just listed the 4 Sabres goalies under tier 4. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
We're just assuming someone's got to get traded because
I'll trade you these 4 goalies. You trade me. Imagine that.
Right.
4 for 1.
The trade of a lifetime. The Sabres have packaged 4 goalies to 803-0550.
Yeah, Hellebuck's the only one I see that that's a clear and obvious upgrade. Unless there's a guy that's becomes available that doesn't seem like he is right now. So Sal, how much have we heard about the difference in what they're asked to do? Not just where they line up and are they over the tackle? Are they further out wide? Are they standing up? But does it feel like maybe with Leonard that what's the way I want to put it? The chains are off a little bit. They could be a little bit more aggressive in going after the quarterback, because that always seemed to be the reputation under Sean McDermott, was how important it was to be responsible in rush lanes, and maybe it wasn't as much make or break, just go get the quarterback at all costs.
Yeah, I think this weaves into the other linebacker position, which obviously I'll get to later in the week, but they will be more aggressive, I think, Joe. But I think your aggressiveness is going to come from different forms. It doesn't have to be from this particular spot. This particular spot is going to be asked to do a lot. Yes, they can go after the quarterback, but I think you're going to see, for example, Terrell Bernard blitzing more. And that's going to maybe leave a Greg Rousseau or a Bradley Chubb to be able to stay home and kind of, filter the run a little bit, or the rush lane or something. Yes, you could absolutely have these guys. I don't want to paint the picture that they're going to be stay-at-home outside linebackers. What I mean, though, is I think that this is going to be a defense where you don't know where guys are coming from, and where one person's coming from, maybe someone else isn't, and they'll be able to kind of play a different spot there. Sure, you can both get after the quarterback. You can blitz 2 guys, or you can have the edge rushers go and blitz somebody, have somebody stay home. I do think they'll be more aggressive, but I think the aggressiveness is going to come in the form of maybe the unknowing from the offense. Look, Sean McDermott's defense was based on knowing your assignment and doing your assignment really well. it also could be a little predictable because of where you line up and doing that, and that's fine. Like, because if you do it, it doesn't matter if you're predictable. If you do it well, it should be okay. And I think that was always the big, the big core principle of his defense, which is, hey, you might know where we're going to line up, but we're still going to be better, and we're going to do it the way we're supposed to do it and be very kind of fundamentally sound, right? I think in this defense is you don't know where we're going to line up, and you.
I got something special for you on the other side, Joe. A gift.
All right, good.
It's a gift for you.
A gift?
Yeah. For you. For everyone out there. 803-0550, Jeremy and Joe. I got to hear more about how it's going with the newborn, too. I heard you refer to yourself as Easy Joe, something like that. Somebody texted
I did?
me. Yeah, that like you were saying things were really easy. Baby's sleeping really well.
I said things are going really well.
Yeah, sleeping well.
Oh, she's sleeping great, which is the best news I think you could have.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said really easy.
All right. It's okay if you did.
I mean, I'm getting the hang of it very, very easily, I guess.
All right. No further questions. But my gift for you.
I do have more gadgets to talk about, baby-wise, that are unbelievable. Yeah. The baby gadgets, I'm obsessed.
Was it the egg clock was the first one you said?
The egg light.
Egg light?
Yeah.
Right.
Double tap, it's on, hold it, dims it, or, it's amazing.
It's beautiful. All right, well, my gift for you in return.
Can that be done in the regular season, though? I don't think the Bills are too far along for me to be hearing victory laps about why they made their coaching change. If they're 6-1 in the regular season, they're always great in the regular season.
That's right. I'll give you one thing that could happen in the regular season that would be chalked up to McDermott's gone. They don't lose back-to-back games. Every year, the last couple years, they would have, remember, the lull. They would lose back-to-back to Miami and Atlanta or whoever it was. Like, you'd have this mid-season because I can remember this. Maybe it was Miami and Houston this year. There's a time where they lose back-to-back games.
Yeah, they lost to New England and Atlanta.
Okay,
back-to-back.
And every year they lose these games, and we would say, don't worry, they did that last year. Don't worry, they did that the year before. And every single year we'd kind of talk ourselves into, well, this is normal for them.
Right.
Now, what kind of standard is that, though?
The standard, right? Like I'm looking, like they never lost more than 2 games in a row.
Right.
Like the lulls was they lost a back-to-back game one time during a season.
Yeah,
that's insane.
And that would sometimes cost them the 1 seed, and
right. That's right.
Do we think that that's one of the reasons? So yeah, as we're looking for things that will make McDermott different, I don't know if Josh starts throwing the ball.
You already said it.
What?
1 seed.
One
seed. Like that's a thing they have not done. Yeah. That if they did it this year, for whatever the reason is, I think that would be like, well, that's the thing McDermott couldn't do. Brady pushed the right buttons, 2 buttons he pushed that were right when he needed to, and now that's the difference, and that's why they're the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Like that could definitely be sold.
To me, the number one thing that if I see a difference, the number one thing that I'll see would be their passing numbers go back up. If they're throwing the ball more often.
Yep.
That's something that they stopped doing. When Brady got the job, they started to run the ball more, and they did it very well. So, you could make the case, of course, they should keep doing that. Now, this offseason, the trade of DJ Moore, and like I was reading something in fantasy football talking about like vacated targets and the idea of vacated targets, and whoever it was pointing out that when Diggs left, those weren't vacated targets, they were eliminated targets. They threw way less. Almost the number of targets that he got in a season, there were that many fewer passes.
Yeah, they became run plays.
Right. So not even vacated targets, just like non-targets. And I don't know, is DJ Moore coming back or coming here going to get Joe Brady to a spot where they're not going to be run heavy like they have been? Was he only run heavy because Sean McDermott thought the best way to beat this team is to be two-dimensional and blah, blah, on and on and on and on? Like we don't know Joe Brady outside of Sean McDermott. And if you're looking for things that might look different, to me, that's what I would look for.
The Bills resume OTAs today. That'll continue through Wednesday. We'll hear from defensive coordinator Jim Leonard. You can follow along with Sal Capaccio at WGR550.com. He's also continuing his State of the Bills series. Sal joined Jeremy and Joe in the last segment. You can find that on demand in case you missed that as well. The Eastern Conference Final in the NHL heated up over the weekend. 2 overtime games. Both of them saw Carolina come out on top 3-2. They lead the series 2-1. In the Western Conference Final, Vegas leads the series 3-0 over Colorado after a 5-3 win on Sunday. They play Game 4 tonight at 9 o'clock. Looking around the NFL, the Athletics' Joseph Person said Panthers head coach Dave Canales still seems bullish on Xavier Legette figuring things out this season. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the Chiefs have no plans to give Rashee Rice an extension before the start of the season. And Eagles defensive coordinator Vic Fangio said Jalen Carter's shoulders are fine after surgery last season. In the NBA playoffs, the Knicks swept the Cavs in the Eastern Conference Final after a 130-93 win yesterday. In the Western Conference Final, the Spurs and Thunder tied 2-2. They play Game 5 tonight at 8:30. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Joe Cali for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
And the journey it has taken them to get here. The long and winding road to bring the title home. For 22 years, the old Arsenal artillery has lain silent and dormant, gathering dust, gathering doubt, but this season has lit the fuse. After 22 years of gloom, it's about to go boom! The Arsenal cannon fires again! "22 years of wait."
Arsenal roar like it's 2004, the final line there. Listen,
the start of that clip, I'm like, this is sounding really boring, and this is not the way to get people into soccer.
True. Those of you out there whose favorite teams have not won a title in the last calendar year, I cannot relate. Sorry. No, I played that because a couple things. So, hi, Jeremy and Joe. This is not going to be an obnoxious conversation about Arsenal, I promise. But I've liked Arsenal for 15 years, really. Really, I find a lot of people, maybe you have this too, I really would watch the Premier League. I don't know who to pick. Mm-hmm. And the answer is you just have to do it and then wait, right? Like when we did it this year, Owen, we were campaigning who we should root for, who you should pick.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you didn't pick Arsenal because it wouldn't work.
Right.
You can't win right away. It won't work if you win right away. You actually have to lose first. And like I picked Arsenal in 2010 because I was over there during the World Cup watching a lot of soccer and thought this sport is way too cool. I need a favorite team. My buddy and I went to the stadium. I bought a jersey. I'm like, I like this team. They haven't won it in a couple of years, and they're a big club. And then things got way worse. Really bad. Sell the team chance. Like, it got really pretty bad. And they won the title this year for the first time in 22 years. And it was amazing for me because I actually went through a long enough time of them not winning. You need that in order to feel good. Maybe that's some psychological thing that sports fans have. But they clinched the title the week before. The game they played did not even matter. The trophy ceremony was on the road. They emptied out the stadium. Arsenal changed their uniforms because you celebrate in your colors, not your roads.
Uh-huh.
And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, how much of this am I going to watch? How much do I care about the trophy ceremony when they already won the title?
Right, and they're at what? Where were they playing?
Selhurst Park, Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace.
And the answer was I cared a ton. A ton about that ceremony. It was 2 hours after the games ended. I'm watching all this coverage of Tottenham who escaped relegation thinking, like, when are we going to get to the trophy? And I promised the kids, my twins are there watching the television. I'm like, watch, what's going to happen is they're going to hold the trophy down low. They're going to walk over, and they're going to go, oh, because it's what everybody does.
Right.
And sure enough, a week later, 2 hours of a show later, when they did that, I got, like, choked up. Holy cow, this ceremony actually matters to me. It's the cup, right? It's if your team wins the cup.
Right.
Watching them carry it matters. Everybody gets to do that thing, right? It's drinking milk at the Indy 500. It's whatever the little ceremony is after. The NFL's tried to kind of create the Lombardi ceremony. It never works.
No.
For whatever reason, the NFL, that never kind of works, whether it's that Terry Bradshaw's handing it to an owner or who knows.
Yep.
It's not the same. But you have other ones that work, and, man, that one, like, really, really worked for me. I was way into it to a level I was surprised at myself.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
No, a year ago, same thing. Like, I watched, and I felt like over an hour. I guess this is where it's like the Stanley Cup celebration is, if that's your team, don't you want to see, like, every guy touch the cup?
Absolutely.
And there was, like, I want to see every player celebrate first
100%.
Before I'm willing to turn this off.
Yeah. When all the Arsenal players are coming through one by one, you're thinking about that big play that insert name here, Hincapie makes, or Marino, and I'm just like saying the names out loud to my 5-year-olds. Like, they know some of their names, but me just beaming and staring at the television. And again, like I make the point a million times, it's Rory at the Masters. It's the thing you were not supposed to ever be able to do because you didn't have it in your DNA. You did, and all of a sudden everything's gone. Like, to me, it's just Bill. It's the Bills. It's the Bills' year. It's got to be eventually, someday.
I agree with you, by the way. Like, the 7 years I went through as a Liverpool fan before they won made that way better when they won.
You have to lose first.
Yeah.
If you show up and start rooting for a team and they win right away, you just kind of don't get it.
Which is why, if Owen had picked Tottenham, that would have been like a 5-year fast forward of suffering and heartbreak that would have made it even better.
Maybe.
Should have picked Spurs.
That's true. I feel like
living on the wire as they almost get relegated in year one would have been nuts.
Yeah, that would have been pretty.
So
fun.
I got who did somebody send it in our group chat, or who sent it to me? The meme of the guy on the podium drinking the champagne and they see that he's like in second place or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It's the cartoon podium. And this one was the guy spraying champagne, and the podium was 17 spots down. That's where Tottenham was celebrating because they did not get relegated.
That's awesome.
So
I feel like I landed in a good place with Man U.
You did. Yeah,
you're got into a Champions League, like rocky start to the year, fired a manager.
Yeah.
That was fun. Like, what's that going to mean? And then they got good, and it was really.
They are, am I also not mistaken here? They are the new on-the-clock team, are they not?
Yeah, I think of the big five, if we eliminate
Tottenham,
Spurs for a minute, I think they deserve that. Then they have
Chelsea,
the longest drought.
Chelsea, Liverpool, City, and help me.
Who are we missing?
Help
Chelsea,
me. Arsenal,
Liverpool.
Yeah.
Your own team.
That makes sense.
It's kind of new. It's like when you're writing checks and you have the wrong date. You probably never wrote a check in your life.
Chelsea last won in 2017. City obviously won recently. Liverpool, Arsenal, when's United? 2013.
Okay, so 12 years, 13 years. I think that's a long drought for them.
But the two teams we root for, it was longer. Arsenal was what,
22.
And it was 30 years between Liverpool titles when they won the first time.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have that unless, again, you fold Spurs back into it a little bit. But they're not probably going to be good for a while. So I think you're in the best spot.
I'm excited about next. I'm excited
for
to
next
watch
year.
Long
haul, I feel like Tottenham would be like watching them build it if they were to win.
All the way back
say
up?
they were to win it like 6 years from now.
From near
building
relegation?
It all the way back up from 17th, 18th to they win it a few years down the road. Like that would be the number one journey. But you're on the one that I think is next. And also, you don't have to probably wait 5 years.
Yeah.
Right.
It could happen next year.
There's also a very unique, again, American sports, we crown champions in games.
Right.
Head-to-head, you must beat this team.
Right.
And over there, that league, there's no playoffs. It's just, hey, we played 38 games, who has the most points? So you kind of get sometimes climactic finishes, sometimes anticlimactic finishes.
There's good and bad to it.
Yes. It really crowns who had the best season. You really can't say anything otherwise. It's not Vegas, who wouldn't have made the playoffs in the East, getting to the Cup final, winning the Cup. That would never happen.
But the only downside, of course, is, and I don't know that you experienced as much as I did last year, where it was like a month and a half to go in the season, and there's no stress and no drama left because you just know they're going to win it.
Right. No, Arsenal.
And I guess that is more comfortable because the stress part, imagine that, not having any stress as your team is on their way to winning the title.
Right.
Like, that's not what you're accustomed to. There must be some, right?
Right.
Unless you're the Knicks, I guess, because they're blowing out every team and sweeping.
But even then, they have games to play. Like
when they're not comfortable.
Right. When Liverpool won that title last year, they were it was 2 years ago.
Last year,
they were so far and away better.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Colorado, if this is just that kind of format, like we were the best team.
Right.
Give us the trophy. In American sports, for better or for worse, and obviously for a lot of our entertainment purposes, it's like, oh, congratulations on being the best team. Now go win a tournament.
Right.
If you don't win the tournament, nobody cares what you did. Think about how
you also don't have over there the can't win the big one guys as much, right? Because of them doing so well throughout the year and then blowing it in the big moment. You have a little of that. I don't think you have it as much, right?
That might be right. That might be right. But I'm just over here thinking about like how Colorado, best team in the league, go win a tournament.
Right.
Like, it's just tough. You don't have the same balanced schedule. Over there, everybody plays the same teams. So that's another part of it. Anyway.
Well, good for you.
Thank you. I enjoyed it greatly. And now I hope that they repeat. The other news of the soccer world is there are still tournaments. The Champions League final is Saturday, and Arsenal plays PSG. Mm-hmm. So they got their league title. Now they have a chance to play a game and win a game.
When are they having the parade for the Premier League Championship?
I believe it's the day after the Champions League final.
That's weird to me. Because if you lose the Champions League final and then you're having your parade the next, that's just a little strange.
A little bit.
And also, if they win the Champions League, is the parade for both, or will they have a second parade? Probably one parade for both?
Probably one parade. Probably. And that's the other thing is, maybe this happens in the NFL too. Maybe this happens in the NHL. Like, who has won the Stanley Cup the last however many years, right? It's been
just Florida
teams.
Right.
And
feels like it's just two teams.
It really is. It's Florida teams, and who else? St. Louis got mixed in
Colorado won one.
Right. Look, people coming out, like, celebrating in Africa, in London, everywhere. Like, the streets being shut down because, like, oh, that's right. A team where the people care a lot, won for the first time in forever. If Montreal were to win the Stanley Cup, which I don't think they're going to do, but for the first time since 1993, like if the Cowboys won the Super Bowl, that would be different than if the Rams did.
Right, and when's the last time in hockey a team like that has won?
Oof.
Because it's not Florida. It's not Vegas.
I don't want to say it's St. Louis.
Colorado, but they won. They had won.
Yep.
And how long it had been for them? Like 15 years?
Probably.
All right, so like they're kind of close. Tampa, no.
But how about go with
maybe it was St. Louis.
Maybe St. Louis.
You had drunk Brett Hall up on the stage, and there were a lot of people there.
I would want to use the phrase starved. A starved fan base to their own expectation. Because, hey, if you win a title every 22 years here, we'd be thrilled. But 22 years for Arsenal was a starved fan base. Who in the NHL is the last starved fan?
Starved rankings. Who are the starved?
It's not even Pittsburgh or Detroit.
No, because they had won.
Right.
Yeah, it's not them.
They win every couple generations.
The most. You know what? I mean, it's all the Canadian teams.
I'll give you one. I've got one. You'll probably find one more recent than this. The 1994 Rangers is an answer. When the Rangers win it in 94, they hadn't won it in 54 years.
Yeah.
And their crosstown rivals used to chant 1940 at the games because they hadn't won in 54 years.
Right.
Who is it since the Rangers that has been that level?
I would say there are two.
Like Vancouver
potential.
Almost did. It would have been massive for Vancouver.
Would've. The two potential answers I would give you would have been Chicago at the time of their first cup.
Okay.
Right?
That's a fair answer.
How long? They had gone a long time, right?
They were not. And
they were bad.
They were irrelevant.
They were bad.
Yes, they had
Patrick
disappeared.
Sharp tells the story about how like you couldn't give. When they were on the team would have the players go to bars to try to give tickets away. I think
at one point they had higher attendance for the AHL games. The Wolves, Chicago Wolves.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then the other one, could you say Boston?
Yes.
But the problem there is the city isn't starved. The team was starved, but like 2011, like, oh, sorry, the Patriots hadn't just won 3 Super Bowls, and the Red Sox hadn't won twice, and the Celtics like hadn't just won.
Yeah.
So the city doesn't really do it for you. But you could say that because they had gone since probably the 60s?
Been a long time.
So Chicago and Boston. I feel like New York's good for that. Right now, though, it's all the Canadian teams and it's Buffalo.
Is there anybody else?
They're in a tier of their own.
Can I give you one more? Could I include the Flyers? Like the Flyers? No? The Islanders? Maybe not. I want to include the Flyers.
The Flyers?
Is that wrong to give them that credit? I want to give them that.
I think Flyers may deserve that.
I kind of want them on tier 2 for some reason, but I don't know why.
Montreal tier 1. Carolina and Vegas. Do I want to say bottom?
Oh, they're bottom of the barrel.
Lowest tier.
They can get out of here.
Vegas are just like the. Someone compared Vegas like you're the trust fund kid. Like you have not.
Yeah.
You've not experienced any hardship yet. Like you care because you're just used to it all going your way, kinda. I don't know. Like they're passionate, aren't they?
Sure.
Like that is.
Sure.
I think because they got there first and they've been good. I've not been there and experienced it. I hear that city cares more about hockey right now than it does their other teams. But part of that is only one team is there yet, right? Just the Raiders are the only other one, and they've only been bad. So that's probably why. But they got there first and they capitalized on it. So I think there's an intensity there. There's a fan base there, but it's not. It's the opposite of starved. And then Carolina, I just don't ever feel like they care enough.
No, their whole thing
is
that they get run over by other teams' fans, kind of. Like,
right.
Isn't that kind of a story for them? Is that they always get taken over and nobody really cares that much. Players that go there talk about how nice it is to not have anybody know who you are.
Yeah,
like that whole spiel gets said down there. I don't think that they need anything. And they've won.
Were Capitals fans starved when they won?
Yes,
that's a good one.
That's definitely
a good one.
That's a definite yes.
Because there was the Ovi in the fountain.
Yep,
happened, and it was like all right.
That's a definite yes.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But less standing, it's Canada, it's Buffalo. Maybe is it like Minnesota? You want to throw them into? Like it's not a long list.
The
not a long
Minnesota
list.
NHL team is not as relevant as you would think it is for a
I
state
know.
that loves hockey. They like Minnesota, like the school,
Right.
and UNM, and like
Right, Matthew
But-
Collar, who works in Pittsburgh forever ago, told me. Sorry, works in
Minnesota.
told me like the Wild are like 11th.
yeah.
But would they not rise up that list like to the top if they won the Stanley Cup?
Maybe.
How much of it is just they've never really been interesting?
I think they won around this year, and that
Yeah.
was big for them. But like,
Dude, you know what I mean? Like they've not rated because name a thing that's happened in Minnesota Wild history. Like it's just not a very.
They moved to Dallas.
They just kind of.
Oh, that's the North Stars.
They
not the
just
Wild.
kind of exist over there.
In Wild history, they
Whereas-
signed Parise and Suit at $100 million deals.
Right? And did you ever see them again
No.
after that? Like they just kind of hang out over there, and if they became some power in the sport, I guess though, if we're talking about starve now, if they're not caring enough now, then like that's part of it, right?
Right.
Like if you're not going to check in all the way until they win a cup, then that's not the same as what we're talking about because it's not how it happens here, and we know it's not how it happens in like Toronto or Montreal or Vancouver, these places.
803-0550. Travis Yost has this number on the Montreal and Carolina series. Shots through 3 games,
Oh man,
oh, this is crazy.
I'd love to hear this.
92-47.
They have 47 shots in 3 games.
Yeah.
It was 13 or 12 or 13 last night, and like the same number the other night.
92-47.
I thought that only happens to them in game sevens.
Well, there's a point to be made here. Like, if you do high danger is not as crazy
lopsided.
throughout it.
Right.
But
because that's how Carolina plays.
well, here's the thing. Like, if I'm in a one-off game, this is like process versus results. Did the Sabres get eliminated on a high danger chance?
No.
I don't think that qualified.
Right? That's what I mean.
No,
Like,
it didn't.
I want 82 games. I want to be the best in the league at high danger chances. I'd love that. I'm in a playoff game. Over the course of the game, I'd love to have more high danger chances. But the results of it are that's not always what's going to win. Sometimes it's the low danger chance that's going to win the game. And if you're Carolina, this was initially at the outset of the analytics era of hockey, was the Corsying.
Yes.
Throw it at the net, because when it bounces off a leg and goes in, it counts the same as a 2-on-1. And if you just get 100 shot attempts to their 32, you're going to get goals. Just the nature of the puck bounces weird ways. And you know, it's nice to have high danger chances. Through 2 games, it was tied 12-12, I guess. Games 1 and 2, 12-12, and then 10-7. Last night was 14-4 for Carolina. So they look far superior. There's also a conversation, again, it's not just Buffalo. Who wants to really try on why home teams are so bad right now and not include their families are asking them for tickets? Is this happening still in Montreal? Were the family members around asking for tickets last night?
Yeah.
What's the distraction? I cannot. The third round of the tournament still be getting to. Montreal's 2-6 at home, and it's because being home's a distraction.
I think I really want to chalk it up to just plain old randomness.
Yeah.
I think I just want. It's just a weird year where you play 100 seasons of NHL hockey. You're going to have a year where, for some reason, the road teams are winning.
You're supposed to have the advantage at home based on being able to get the matchups that you want.
Correct.
So I guess one of the things I would
beyond the home crowd and the atmosphere and the refs. Just would you want to go into the game? Do you want to be the coach that gets to pick who goes on the ice last or not? And every single time you would say, no, I want to pick.
Right. And I the only thing I get to is like, okay, is that some sort of perceived advantage that's not real? I wouldn't want to say that. Right. I wouldn't want to say that. But if I've got, all things being equal, I've got teams losing at home where they're supposed to have this advantage, small, marginal, built in, and losing all the time. Why? I tend to agree with you, Joe. Like, most likely it's randomness.
I think that's right, and I think at a certain point it becomes a storyline that everybody's thinking about and talking about, and then it worms its way into becoming a mental challenge where you're like, oh, we're at home tonight, nobody wins at home.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? How are we going to fix it?
It got so into the
And
Sabres'
you
heads
press.
that they changed what they do and stayed in a hotel.
Exactly.
They're
And
like,
then you start.
That's how you know that it's starting to get to you.
Yes.
We must change something.
Exactly.
But that's like where,
And they were great at home all year.
all year.
That's where like they went into the hotel and like you look at they lost. They played great, right? So did it not work? And that's where like I'd want to look like, is it luck or are teams actually outplaying themselves on the road? Like that's really where I'd want to start. I guess I haven't done that. Is like, what's the expected goal say on it? Like, are teams lower at home on that than they are, or are we chalking it up to, again, like randomness is happening and it's just kind of luck as to why that's happening? Yeah. Like, when I look at the Sabres playoff run, their record wasn't as good at home, but there's nothing I would point to on the ice to explain what they were doing to say that's why they were worse. Some of those games at home, it was goaltending, right? Yep. Some of those games at home, it was
sloppy puck decisions.
Yeah, or your penalty kill that night wasn't on the same way. Like, I don't, it was different reasons, so I didn't see a commonality that would make me think next year, like, lessons learned from the playoffs. Is one of them how to win at home? It's not at the top of my list.
I think
if you just played another playoff season today, the odds that the Sabres would have a winning record at home would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, I think it's
without changing anything.
The lesson is that it hurts you when you don't, but it's not that you figured out some cheat code to figure out like what was stopping you. The only thing I could really think of as some sort of maybe this is a moment where the home crowd gets to you is like finishing percentage.
Yeah.
Maybe if I could look into like high danger finishing percentage by home and away, I could see some guys like eyes get wide. You got a wide open net and like just jitter it up and you fire it high and wide. I think maybe that's the spot. But other than that, I just really don't. I don't see a ton of things that would be like, yeah, it's because of this that they're losing now.
And by the way, my theory that expected goals are like higher for the home teams than they are on the road, like that doesn't look to be the case upon first glance. Like the Sabres, for instance, on the road, their expected goal share was 58%, which is only a smidge behind Carolina for the best in the playoffs. And then at home, they were 50%, which was eighth. So like the Sabres definitively, like, no, the results would point to, no, they were playing better on the road than at home. Yeah. It wasn't just luck.
803-0550 is our phone number, 1-888-550-2550. So, real quick, I sent something to Joe Cali. Did he say that? That clip I sent you? Did Joe Burrow really say that?
What'd he say?
We can get to it in the break. Don't play it now. Joe Burrow really said that?
You think it's fake?
It's the kind of thing I gotta ask.
You're asking if it's AI?
I gotta ask.
Huh.
We'll get to it on the other side.
I don't know what we're going to do after we line up.
So, Sal, like, how much have we heard about the difference in what they're asked to do? Not just like where they line up and, are they over the tackle? Are they further out wide? Are they standing up? But does it feel like maybe with Leonard that what's the way I want to put it? Like the chains are off a little bit. Like they could be a little bit more aggressive in going after the quarterback, because that always seemed to be the reputation under Sean McDermott, was how important it was to be responsible in rush lanes, and maybe it wasn't as much make or break, just go get the quarterback at all costs.
Yeah, I think this weaves into the other linebacker position, which obviously I'll get to later in the week, but they will be more aggressive, I think, Joe. But I think your aggressiveness is going to come from different forms. It doesn't have to be from this particular spot. This particular spot is going to be asked to do a lot. Yes, they can go after the quarterback, but I think you're going to see, like, for example, Terrell Bernard blitzing more. And that's going to maybe leave a Greg Rousseau or a Bradley Chubb to be able to stay home and kind of, filter the run a little bit, or the rush lane or something. Yes, you could absolutely have these guys. I don't want to paint the picture that they're going to be stay-at-home outside linebackers. What I mean, though, is I think that this is going to be a defense where you don't know where guys are coming from, and where one person's coming from, maybe someone else isn't, and they'll be able to kind of play a different spot there. Sure, you can both get after the quarterback. You can blitz two guys, or you can have the edge rushers go and blitz somebody, have somebody stay home. I do think they'll be more aggressive, but I think the aggressiveness is going to come in the form of maybe the unknowing from the offense. Look, Sean McDermott's defense was based on knowing your assignment and doing your assignment really well. It also could be a little predictable because of where you line up and doing that, and that's fine. Like, because if you do it, it doesn't matter if you're predictable. If you do it well, it should be okay. And I think that was always the big the big core principle of his defense, which is, hey, you might know where we're going to line up, but we're still going to be better, and we're going to do it the way we're supposed to do it and be very kind of fundamentally sound, right? I think in this defense is you don't know where we're going to line up, and you kind of don't know what we're going to do after we line up, to be honest with you.
Right. Lead article at NFL.com, 11 players in the league where it's a make or break season.
Yes, and I saw the picture is of 3 players.
Uh-huh. The first player talked about in the article is a Bill.
Yep. It's Keon Coleman. Also in the picture is C.J. Stroud. Okay.
Yes.
And the third picture is George Pickens.
Yes.
It's a make or break year for George Pickens. What? I think he made it.
He's on the list.
I think he made it. Okay. I said it already 3 times.
Yeah,
Listen, the Coleman, I think there's Keon Coleman discussion fatigue, and I understand why.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear the case of, what is a make-it season for him?
For Keon?
Yeah, isn't it just like a role player who's on the team for 2 more years? That's making it.
I think making it for him is just
being a guy. You would take him having a Gabe Davis here would be a dream come true for Coleman.
Someone that doesn't make headlines for an entire year negatively. That's it. I don't even need him to do anything special. Right. Just don't have a story in November about how you were late. Don't have a story in December about how you fumbled in a bad spot in the game. That's it. Just a non-controversial season.
Yeah.
I don't need him to do anything statistically that blows you away. But to be a professional football player. That's it.
Yeah,
that would be make it, I think.
Play out your contract, do well, sign somewhere in 2 years. I mean, I just don't think there's much of an avenue to him to get to the top. But, I suppose it's possible.
Time now for the stat of the day, brought to you by Chan's Smoke Shop 2 and Gas Mart, where everything about Chan's Smoke Shop is smoking.
Now, I know someone will say if we give stats about another team and they look bad, it's because we're just jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Those people are correct. It's fine. But here's your stat of the day on the Montreal Canadiens last night. It had 12 shots on goal, right? You knew that? It's the first part. The second part is Sportsnet stats had this. Shots on goal for Montreal, 12. Icings, 15.
That is really hard to do.
It's crazy.
Icings more than shots.
More icings than shots. 15 to 12. Also saw a number a minute ago about fewest shots on goal in a playoff game that goes to overtime. Mm-hmm. Game 2 and Game 3 of this series are 2 of the 3 lowest ever. Wow. You've never had teams have that few shots and get to overtime. Game 2, 12. Game 3, 13. One game in between there, the 1978 Blackhawks had 12 shots in Game 2 of the quarterfinals. Montreal. What would we be saying if that was the Sabres? He's getting dominated.
I mean, maybe I should stop saying I thought these two teams were equals. because that was the regular season, right? Playoffs, I mean, let's call it what they are. They're a team that's riding hot goaltending.
Yeah.
They are at least at 5-on-5. Their expected goal share of the 16 teams in the play that made the playoffs in the postseason, they rank 15th. Only Philly is worse. But Jakob Dobeš, 16 goals saved above expected, is number 1 by 4. I mean, that's kind of what they were. I think they don't feel like it because when they made the finals in that COVID year, one, it was a COVID year, felt weird, and they were playing Vegas in the conference finals, right? Like, everything was wonky. They made it to the Cup, and we all knew how. Like, Carey Price, this dude is an MVP goaltender that he's dragging you to the finals because we had watched Carey Price be a Vezina winner, be a Hart winner multiple times before that season had happened. This Montreal team is getting there the same way. It just might not feel like it because in the regular season they were not this team, and Dobeš is not, I mean, doesn't need to be said, he's not Carey Price with the accolades and the hardware. He just got here. And he kind of acts like an idiot sometimes. So that factors into it as well. But they're really the same. The team that made it to the finals 5 years ago in Montreal and this team, like, they are just surviving goaltending. Because of goaltending. 15th in expected goal share at 5-on-5 in these playoffs. Buffalo, by the way, 4th. So they weren't equals. The Sabres were outplaying teams. And Montreal is getting outplayed all the time, and they are just getting away with it.
You make the case Sabres need a goaltending upgrade. I feel like the fight of our offseason will be if that's the right move or if upgrading a top 6 player and shooting for it. Because, listen, I was online earlier today talking about this with Chris Ostrander, 2 in the Box, and he made the point, like, what's the unifying link between all the teams that are left? Is it not high-end skill? High-end talent?
It is, but again, that's not how Montreal is here. They're here because their goalie got hot. They're not outplaying anybody.
I understand, but you mentioned the power play is the other half of that. And
right, that's right.
There's your high-end skill. And if the Sabres, fine, if they get by Montreal, would they get by Carolina? Maybe. Would they get by? Yeah. I feel like the toughest conversation to have about the Sabres is where Tage Thompson fits on a Stanley Cup winning team. Mm-hmm. Now, he definitely can be on one and be an important part of one. Can he be your best forward? I know Benson was their best forward in the playoffs and might be their best forward going forward. We'll see where that ultimately goes. But, like, is Tage their best forward? And if he is, does the Stanley Cup team win if Tage is your best forward?
You know where I almost feel like he would fit in?
And I don't say that to try and
sound like an insult.
Okay, because I don't say that to try and say like I'm trying to take anything away from him.
Right.
It's just a matter of can they even get somebody on his level, a 1B with him? Is he on the wing, ideally? Is he, right? Like, I feel like that is the inner circle all the way to the depths of Yarmo's build. All right, I've got a lot of very, very good forwards, young guys coming up. Who's the best forward on the Sabres when they win the Stanley Cup? Who is it?
I think you probably want someone to come in over top of Tage Thompson for that. I mean, you could reverse engineer it. Has there been a Stanley Cup winner that's best forward has not been as good as Tage Thompson? I could find that out.
I mean, all the Florida and Tampa answers are they've got somebody.
Yeah. Like the guy I was going to compare him to, like that I think, how would he fit in? It's not meant to be an insult. How did Phil Kessel fit in when he was in Pittsburgh? He was not the best forward. He was not the second best forward even. He was not the most important guy.
But they don't win without him.
They don't win without him. In those 2 cup runs with Kessel, who, again, is not like the guy, in 49 playoff games, he had 45 points in their 2 cup runs. Like, he was reliable for them offensively. And I think that is really where you would want Thompson to be is, I might not need you to be on the ice at the end of the game when I'm up 1. I might not need you to be on the ice in every single situation playing 20 minutes a night. But can you just go be dynamic offensively? That's it. That's all I need you to do. Because that's what Kessel was in Pittsburgh. So that might sound like an insulting guy to compare him to because of how the other parts of his career went. But that's how it would be. It would be, yeah, I've got someone over top of you that I'm going to more often in every situation. But, man, getting a guy like that.
Isn't that Robert Thomas?
Yes. But it's not by a lot.
No, I understand.
He is not. He's not Nathan McKinnon.
No.
He's not McDavid. He's not Barkov.
But you got to find the best you can.
Eichel.
You got to get the
Right.
best guy you can, right?
Right.
Like
right. The only guy that you've heard a name. I mean,
Nico
unless you think it's-
Hischier.
I don't think it's him.
Okay, not him.
Matthews probably isn't getting traded, and I mean there would be a debate as to whether he's that guy anyway. Yeah, because all these teams do have it. It goes Barkov, Eichel, McKinnon, Tampa, Kucherov. I mean the Blues. You want to go O'Reilly? Is that the last time like a guy that wasn't a true superstar was the best forward on a Stanley Cup winner? Because that would probably be the answer. Then you go Ovechkin, Crosby, Kane and Taves. Like you almost always have a guy that is just another level up. And should we be afraid of Thompson in the playoffs because of what round 2 looked like? Like Tuck will get all that headline because he had 0 points, and Thompson had points. But were you afraid of him being on the ice in the most critical moments? Because I kind of was in Game 7 because of the turnover stuff and because of decision-making that he had made, and it just wasn't going great for him shift to shift. I was not confident when he stepped onto the ice in Game 7. So that's different, isn't it? Like, don't you want... What are all these other teams that I'm mentioning? What's Barkov? What's Crosby? What's McKinnon? What are these superstar guys? It's every time they go onto the ice, you're like, whew, like you have a little bit of relief because you know there's one dude out there that's going to drive everything. And Thompson was not that in round 2. So I don't need to replace him, but I'd like to see them find their way to that. You can't do that with goaltending. You probably can't do both of those things.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to do either one. That's why, for me, the goalie thing is it's just Hellebuck for me. Like, it's just, if you can get Hellebuck, I would do that. But I'm not replacing goalie just to grab Aiden Hill off the street from Vegas. If there's no Hellebuck trade, then to me, you go get the best player that you can get your hands on this summer. And if that guy's a forward, then you do that. And if that guy is Connor Hellebuck, then you do that.
He's probably a forward. It's not going to be a defenseman if they extend Byram, which you had something from Pierre LeBrun on Byram, how they're going to meet and talk about it, and Byram's happy here.
Yep.
Yarm would like to get him extended, but
sounded very positive towards them getting to a deal.
But Byram's agent always encourages players to go all the way to their UFA.
Yep.
So it's a good way to see the most money. All right, we teased something going to the break. Sorry, we got a little off there on the Sabres, which, worthy. Joe Burrow at Bengals OTAs casually dropping this.
Definitely. I think the number one thing is you have to win. And we're going to go win a lot of games this year and play great and win a Super Bowl. And
then says that what comes with that comes with that. He's talking about like changing the impression of the Bengals organization. He's asked about like their commitment to winning and all that. And he just says, we're going to win a lot of games and we're going to win a Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl. Like win it this year. Casual, we're going to win the Super Bowl.
He kind of has that personality, though, doesn't he?
Sure.
I'm not really that surprised that comes out of his mouth. Joe Burrow. He's got the swagger. He's Joe Cool, right?
Right. This is why Dobesh from Montreal is such an outlier for me. I'm tying Dobesh to Joe Burrow because I love cocky athletes and I can't stand Dobesh. It's probably because you just beat the Sabres. It's probably really it.
Well, it's also because you probably don't think he's actually like worthy of it, right?
True, that is also part of it.
Like,
but he continues to play well. But I love cocky athletes. I love guys that are willing to be cocky, say they're cocky. I always think it's cool. It's more interesting. Burrow saying that. I mean, he didn't exactly like pound the table. It was a pretty meek way to say it. We're going to go win the Super Bowl. But whatever.
Right.
Good for him, I guess. It didn't really pick up anywhere. He just said that 5 days ago, and it's not exactly what we're too busy talking the SEC in 2014 playoffs on SportsCenter.
Do you want to know
Knicks?
You want to know how many? I know it's betting odds, but you know how many teams have better betting odds to win the Super Bowl than the Cincinnati Bengals do?
I like this exercise because I'll tell you, you give them all to me, and I'll tell you how many teams I would pick
All right, you want me to go down the list?
Yeah.
How do you want to play this game? I'll go down the list, and you tell me if they're next or if they should be next.
No. Here's how I want to play this game. You give me a team.
Okay.
I'll either go the team that you named, a push, or the Bengals.
Okay.
On how likely I think they are to win the Super Bowl. Like if I had to do head-to-head bets.
Okay.
All right? Okay, hit me.
I'll just give you the teams that are listed above them. Dallas.
Bengals.
Houston.
Bengals.
Green Bay.
Bengals.
Denver.
Bengals.
Philadelphia.
Bengals.
Detroit.
Bengals.
New England.
Bengals.
San Francisco.
They always choke late. They always get hurt. They got that power plant. Bengals.
Power plant. Kansas City.
Bengals.
Chargers.
Bengals.
Bills.
That one I might want back. Bills.
You want Chargers back?
I might want Chargers back. Chargers. Chargers have a better shot at it than the Bengals. Yeah. Chargers.
Ravens.
Bengals.
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Rams.
Rams.
So they have the 14th best Super Bowl odds, and you would put them like 5th.
I would. I think they're undervalued, yeah.
That means you should bet them.
They're favored in 15 of 17 games.
You get them at the same price you get Chicago and Jacksonville.
Why is Chicago down that low?
I don't know. A lot of good teams.
There are a lot of good teams.
I mean, it's the summer.
Please don't take that exercise from me. Like, I think the Bengals are the best team in football.
I think they're way better than...
Yeah, than the market says. I think they've got a real good look at it. A real good look at getting to the postseason.
What did they do this offseason that's really that?
Dexter Lawrence. That was their big piece. They got a stud defensive lineman. They got Boye Mafe. They whatever. Their defense. They get a moderately good defense, and they are dangerous.
Is their offensive line any better? Might be a question I'd also want to ask. Really, one thing that I trust more about the Bills. I heard Mina Kimes and Ben Solak on a podcast saying this about Allen yesterday. Why, of the Big Five, the AFC Big Five, which you can kick one out if you want.
Bills, Ravens, Bengals,
just for
Chiefs.
quarterbacks.
Okay.
Mahomes, Jackson, Allen, Burrow, and Herbert.
Okay.
Like the Big Five quarterbacks in the AFC. There's one right now you trust to stay healthy. That is it. And that is what separates the Bills. Not all of it. Knock on all the wood. But really, all of those other guys have shown you can't trust them to be available. Burrow is that. Burrow has missed
lots of time.
I think it's 20 games in the last 3 years? Like, Burrow's missed a lot of football, and if his line still stinks, I think you could be totally right that everything Cincinnati's built could win the Super Bowl, and it just wouldn't matter because their quarterback can't stay on the field.
You are never going to get me to say out loud the things you just said for fear of the jinx nature and the knockings of wood. Oh,
I've got to trust
someone out there has never yet been hurt. You're playing football. It's a matter of time.
I mean, Brett Favre went like 25 years, didn't he, without getting hurt?
That he did.
Eli Manning never got hurt. It happens.
Extendo Sports.
Knock on wood.
That's right. Extendo Sports coming up. The Sabres we're about to have an offseason where they are in on every single rumor. Mm-hmm. We are about to have a Brandon Beane. They were in on that offseason for the Sabres. Mm-hmm. The Bills are in on everything, right? Max Crosby, they made a call on this guy, and I've already seen 15 different Sabres reports like, could Edmonton be a landing spot for Yuri Kulik and Devin Levi? And I think, who are they getting from Edmonton? I don't know. But they're in on every rumor. They're going to be on absolutely every single rumor page, and that's kind of a good life.
They exist.
Because they exist. We can think about it. Whether it's Alex Tuck and the latest on what that might be. I've seen some reports about a number there and some term there, and I think we're all kind of getting ourselves, I shouldn't say all, lots are maybe migrating to maybe this shouldn't happen. Feels like the gas gauge is going that way a little bit on the Tuck idea, and that opens up flexibility to do other things. So whatever. I'm in for the rumors. I'm in for all the reports of what might happen because it's exciting.
Well, I think the reason Hellebuck is getting thrown in there, and maybe there should be a rumor about some guy that could come in and like really help their power play as well. Because if I look at the Sabres right now objectively, and I think, all right, if they wanted to be aggressive in improving something for next year, where would you attack? Because They have arguably the best top 4 in hockey on the blue line. So, like, I could get to my third pair, but how much do guys that play 11 minutes a night move the meter anyway when I get to these big games? The top 4 guys are going to be the ones that are really playing. The forward group is as deep as anybody in hockey, and I've got all this youth coming in that should even help that along even further. So, again, I could point to the power play, but the only other thing I can look at is basically to say, like, their goaltending right now is the same as these other 4 teams left, which is it's a coin flip. Well, okay, if I don't really have anything else to get substantially better at, let me make that better than a coin flip. Mm-hmm. I think I'm a great team that can win. If I think I can win the Stanley Cup with the forwards and defensemen that I currently have, which I think they could. I think that is in there. There is a Stanley Cup winner in those 4 lines and those defense pairings. Then let me make that a 75% chance that my goalies are going to hold up, rather than, well, my team's great, let me flip a coin to see if I'm going to get eliminated in the series because I have no idea if my goalies are going to be good or bad. Lead article at NFL.com, 11 players in the league where it's a make-or-break season.
Yes, and I saw the picture is of 3 players.
Uh-huh. The first player talked about in the article is a Bill.
Yep. It's Keon Coleman. Also in the picture is C.J. Stroud. Okay. Yes. And the third picture is George Pickens.
Yes.
It's a make-or-break year for George Pickens? What? I think he made it.
He's on the list.
I think he made it. Okay. I said it already 3 times.
Yeah,
Listen, the Coleman, I think there's Keon Coleman discussion fatigue, and I understand why. Mm-hmm. I would love to hear the case of, like, what is a make-it season for him?
For Keon?
Yeah, isn't it just like a role player who's on the team for 2 more years? Like, that's making it.
I think making it for him is just
being a guy. You would take him having a Gabe Davis here would be a dream come true for Coleman.
Someone that doesn't make headlines for an entire year negatively. That's it. I don't even need him to do anything special. Right. Just don't have a story in November about how you were late. Don't have a story in December about how you fumbled in a bad spot in the game. Like, that's it. Just a non-controversial season.
Yeah.
I don't need him to do anything statistically that blows you away. But to be a professional football player. That's it.
Yeah.
That would be make it, I think.
Play out your contract, do well, sign somewhere in 2 years. I mean, I just don't think there's much of an avenue to him to get to the top. But, I suppose it's possible. Hey, you can nominate a nurse at WBEN.com or Kiss985.com, Kiss985.com, for the chance to win a $100 Parkway Prime Steakhouse and Lounge gift card and 5 dozen Paula's Donuts to share with their coworkers. One grand prize winner gets a 2-night getaway with breakfast at DoubleTree Niagara Falls, brought to you by Bryant and Stratton, United Healthcare, Damon University, Hospice and Palliative Care, Buffalo, ECMC, Trocaire College, Roswell Park, Comprehensive Cancer Institute, and the Greenfields Continuing Care Community. It is Nurses Month, so nominate a nurse at WBEN.com or Kiss985.com. We're back tomorrow. Bills OTAs, you'll hear from Jim Leonard today. We'll see what he has to say. Going to have an attacking defense this year.
Yeah.
Finally, the defense is going to attack. I know. Happens every year. But we'll see. We'll see what he has to say about the group. Other than that, Vegas maybe to win the Western Conference tonight.
Yep. Spurs Thunder at 8:30 also tonight.
Did Vegas
Which of the 4 playoff series going right now in both sports is by far number one. An easy number one if you're into both sports.
Yeah. Did Vegas touch the trophy? It feels like they're the kind of team that would touch it. Ever, all the stuff about do you touch a trophy or not?
I don't remember. NBA they do, I guess, because I saw Brunson holding it up.
Yeah. All right, we're back tomorrow. Cheers.